How much? Con quitado.
Strike, and I think that therefore you're not really harming him by putting him in the new roles that he's in. I think he can still help you find openings on the edge of the map. He still plays a lot of star CT roles. He can still trade for you in certain executes, and yeah, he's got the intelligence to handle the clutch moments. So I think it balances things out. And I also like that you have Kerrigan, who's willing to sack himself first to better set up Kiyosuke in some key moments. So I think the widely distributed talent here is vast.
What it means for Nico is that it's ushering in a new era to his career. He's been the #1 option on teams for about 5 years of his prime. He recognizes his prime is behind him, and now he needs to make way for a guy who is just ramping up into his. So all of this is coming together where Nico is showing a new side of himself, a slightly more supportive element to make way for the rising star in Kyosuke.
Yeah, and obviously doing it without having to resort to being an IGL, which we all thought was coming. Now, let's talk. Said, maybe we'll sell you, maybe we won't. Donk said, you know what, I like the vibes on that other team. I like playing with those guys. Let's see what we can do without Chopper. And by the way, I saw Chopper, he's here, he's watching his team. It's always difficult when you've been cut from a roster, but they brought in Timmy, and now they've said, okay, let's give Magix a shot. Let's see what he can do as an IGL.
Some things may have changed, Rich, but one thing remains constant for Spirit all the damn time, and that is Donk. Donk is the best rifler, period, to ever play the game, period, and that's it. He is such a specialist in the entry role. The numbers always are astronomical no matter what event you put him in. The opening attempts on the T side are so high, and his ability to just win so many of them is absolutely absurd as he leads the MVP race.
And look at the rankings, 1-1-1. With rankings like that, he could be number 2 in HLT.
Well, it's still early this season here, Rich. You know what, Saudi Vitality does lose a tournament right now. But here's the thing, one more stat which kind of caught me by surprise this morning. I was going through, I'm like 1.63 rating over a course of an entire tournament. Yes, the finals yet to be played. That's the second highest rating since his debut in Katowice 2.5 years ago. This kid just not stopping anytime soon. There we go. 1.75 in Katowice. Everyone remembers that debut, the greatest debut of all time. And ever since then, PGL Astana right now, if he continues his form right here, it could be the second highest ever, which is incredible considering how he's so consistent.
Rating is a metric that is being tinkered with, toiled with, but KPR is always constant stat that just shows how dominant some of these players are through history. You can see what Donk's KPR at this event is. It's 1.00. But you take some of the all-time greats, some of the guys on the server against him. You actually face those guys off against each other. There's only been 3 other guys in history at these kinds of big events that have put up 1.0. One of those 3 is himself. So he's basically chasing his own ghost, and he's chasing he's chasing Zaiwu, he's chasing Simple, but this guy's writing history every single time we see him load up in a tournament because he's breaking records like it's nothing.
Yeah, and we saw him in the interview as well. You know, when they took on Mouse yesterday, he said, like, you just don't have a chance. No one has a chance. Like, the way we're playing right now, we're better. We've actually arrived at what we think is the end point for Team Spirit. This is as good as it's going to get, and the numbers don't lie about that. Improved utility. People that were bit part players. Suddenly coming alive and having a series where, yeah, statistically, maybe they even outperformed the Phenom.
Call it the Sotfik effect for me. That's what I've been seeing.
Some of them do.
Some of them do.
Zontics did. Shiro kind of led us to it.
But look at this. Okay, so at the very top here, all of the numbers you see, these are utility stats for all of these guys, courtesy of HLTV. With Holly, all of the numbers are a bit lower. What that stat means is just how many flash assists per round, how much utility damage they're getting per round. An algorithm combines them, and you get this nice, sexy number, and everybody across the board is leaps and bounds better. The utility that Spirit is
is throwing at this event would put Vitality's
preferred
2025 to shame.
And even Donk almost doubled. This is the thing. It's not just the supporting cast. Everybody is learning and getting better.
10 მილიონი
and what this has provided is that we all knew that Spirit already played this really aggressive death ball style of
ამ ფინალის მერე ის ფინალი იმენა იცი რა იქნება იცი
entry power of Donk and the follow up that they have in some other players.
ატლეტიკო არსენალი იქნება ამის მერე ის ეს PSG ბაიერნია.
They've honed it even more with this utility that you're talking about. They're making it easier for him to pass his way into sites. They're making it easier for Tanir to be able to trade off of that. It is making them so proficient in their attacking sides. It's going to be very hard for Falcons to deal with today if they keep it up.
And I think he hit a hit on the player's name who I wanted to touch upon a little bit, Tanir, right? He's been having a rough season so far. Everyone's like, what's a Tanir? Where's the Tanir we saw before he joined Spirit? Comes in Softic, and somehow it's clicking in place for him. In Rio, that was his best event on land with the team thus far, and he's once again continuing his form. He's even said in a couple of interviews, Softic's really working with me, and it's really clicking. So it's not just about utility. He's looking at all the weak points that they've had throughout this entire season, and he's fixing them. And he's just a stand-in coach, guys.
Yeah, the big thing I want to point out about Tanir's activation is just the fact that you're seeing him be able to trade frag a bit more. He kind of got relegated to some anchor roles he probably didn't want to play. He's had to play some extremity positions on the T side that probably aren't necessarily the best for him to make room for Zontix's return to the squad. But what I love that they've done on some maps is he's the third guy in and entering, and his trade fragging is very, very powerful. It gives you that extra opening bit next to Donk. I mean, it's just like a crazy 1-2 punch with those guys.
I mean, that's what happens when you have the lowest sensitivity in Tier 1 Counter-Strike. All you are is a trade fragger. Don't make this guy entry. For him to move his hand across this entire mouse pad, I mean, that's what it takes to do a quarter turn for him, okay? No. The 180, just forget it. He's going to rip his arm off. They can't afford that right now.
I mean, I'll say this as well. Like, all he has to do is be where he is now.
Yeah.
That's the reality about this Spirit team. Donk will do all of the heavy lifting. He only needs the slightest little bit of help from everybody.
And I feel like just the way they're kind of clicking together right now has also elevated everyone. Like they say, you know, the rising waters lifts all boats, and that's what's happening with Shiro as well. He hasn't had to be the superstar, but he's so consistent. You know, sure, Monensi is kind of stealing the show. Molodoi had a crazy game, but Shiro quietly has been so very good, solid. Zontix as well, finding so much of impact overall. This is going to be the head-to-head. Obviously, you want to put Donk over there, but just looking at the numbers, obviously overshadowed by Monensi's superlative performance so far.
I'm surprised how close Shiro actually is, though.
Well, here's the thing. They're both really star operas, but they do so in different ways, and you see it on your screen. Ratings, you know, comparable to each other. Success rates on their CT side opening duels, also comparable, but Monensi's just more aggressive, bro. Like, he is a battle opera. He can entry for you on the T side way more often than almost any other opera will. He is hitting shots that no one else can. He's called the damn Flash for a reason, because he is so flashy with this
on there is also that Shiro is leading the way with clutches at this event.
Oh yeah.
And also 2020 clutcher in the world, so him to regain that sort of late round prowess is just a perfect dealt by Donk.
So we've talked about these two teams, the good, the bad, the new, the old, the past, the future. But man for man, pound for pound, who's got the best roster?
Well, widely distributed
Barcelona
key on a one matchup that everyone's going to enjoy today before we get into this, and that is that you're going to see something absolutely special today on the server, because we get two of the best to ever play their role going head-to-head on the server right now. This is the MVP race, the Destroyer versus the Flash, the Opper versus the Entry, and they are leading in so many now we get to view it on this stage.
When I was watching the game, AWP on the T side is something I don't think I've ever seen. No one's ever seen some of the shit he was pulling out of his hat. So I agree. I think we're all in for a treat.
Hey, don't these guys speak the same language? Wouldn't it be cool if they were on a team together someday? All right, I'll save that for another day.
The whole just one more superstar.
და იქ გააზიარე არხი გამოიწერე და PGL-იც გამოიწერე და სასწაული მოხდება. გეტყვა სასწაული.
I think one guy I do want to touch upon as well.
It's ათასობა ნომერ 1-ად რო გაქვს რა თამაშები. ხო, წინააღმდეგ გაცხობა რა თამაშები, ჩემთანაც იყო. ეხლა ალბათ მე დაწვეს ჩემთან.
He's not super comfortable with that. He said it as well. But despite that, he's been so pivotal in them closing out a lot of his close rounds. Look at you, the final couple rounds on the CT side, how he's getting his.
მე ძმა ეყავყურე რა. ისე იძახი ძმა, თითქოს სიმართლე არ იყოს.
Kyosuke and Manasi, but I think Tess has been slept on. He's been so solid this event.
He's been one of their top performers in a couple of the games they've played. Look, when Kerrigan came to the team, his checklist was this: let me rein in Kyosuke and hone him. Let Manasi do whatever the hell he wants because he's already where he needs to be. And he gets Testis in a better position to impact things. Right away. I want this guy to be a little bit more selfish sometimes. Yeah, he's giving you everything. He's giving you everything that you could ever want.
I feel like I'm in his head.
That's why he's not just an IGL.
მაგარ სოფლიანო რაღაც ჭირს და ეგრე რო ფლიანობს ადამიანი რაღაც ჭირს გულის პრობლემები აქვს უეჭვენ ან წონის
just like Tanir has been done on Spirit. So I do
შეიძლება
like
ეგ ნორმალური არაა ეგ რო ფლიანობა.
I feel like the thing with Tess is, first of all, my favorite Falcon. Just always got to put that out there.
Always
going
going
to remind people also that save their asses in many of the games at Melbourne in another big grand final. That was versus Vitality. Also, the quarterfinal versus Fury, highest round swing. So not always the sexiest in terms of output, but a guy that always gets the job done, especially when the odds are stacked against him. Late round situations, all of that is where Testis just really shines because you're not looking for Testis to be a round in, round out, super consistent fragger. You just want him to be explosive in the right point.
Falcon დაბანავს overpass. სპირიტი დაბანავს რას? მოიცა გავიხსენო რა სათამაშო სპირიტი არ თამაშობს, არ თამაშობს. ინფერნო არ გვექნება? არ გვექნება overpass-ი. dalში გვექნება ყველა მაპი. მაგრამ ებს გაპიკავენ, მოდი გამოვიცოთ, აბა. სპირიტი გაპიკავს.
None of Kerrigan's stats are going to stimulate the stats of Fan. No, but what he does bring is a change of atmosphere. The way that Kyosuke looks, the way that Nico's bought in, the way that it feels like Nico's almost matured as an individual. Now that he's back to Kerrigan, kind of reckoning with the fact that he could have had this pairing for his entire career, and now it's really when he's on his last legs with this Falcons that he has to just say, okay, maybe this was the greatest in-game leader that I've ever had, and I want to try for a second time.
And look at the scenic route they had to take. It wasn't always clean.
It wasn't always clean, and they had to go up against the Mongols, with super close affair right there. But that's the thing. So many of the games we've seen from them thus far, obviously, the Fury game comes to mind as well. You see that all Falcons, they're not winning that.
Kesis ყურება როგორ გაასწორებს უკვე ტურნირებზე, მალე დაამატონ. ძალიან მაგარი მაპია, გოუთი მაპია უკვე. უკვე ერთ-ერთი საუკეთესო მაპია. გამოდიან? ეს ვინაა, თო? ის გამოვიდა. ბანქსი, მაგრამ მე ვასეა.
They've been a top 5 team for so long. They need a trophy. It could happen today.
It could happen today. We're going to go to the stage, get that temperature check for the grand finals.
Well, I can tell you about the temperature check, Richard. It is feeling hot in here. We are packed out, and I can feel the energy already in the room. Astana! It is time for the grand finals. Two of the best teams in the world. Two leveling up and trying to bring their form back to the top. And it is certainly not easy. Everything they have worked for, everything they have fought for in the group stage here in the arena is all for this. But only one team will walk away with it. For our first team, their last trophy was lifted 273 days ago. But they have started to get back to winning ways. You heard from the players. You saw. They are ready for another trophy. So, bring it on. Make some noise. It's Team Spirit!
Falcons ბოლოს ოდის აუწიეს. აუწიეს კი რა აწიეს თასი. ეხა ვერ აუწევდო. დაიწყოს თამაში და მე აუწევ ნახავ თუ შემიძლია. დონკა რა კაცია, რამხელა პოტასებიაცია, ბიჭო. რამხელა პოტასებიაცია. ჩემი კარგი იმენა. ტანკებიაცია ძმას იმენა. შეხედე ჩემი რა ყლეობა, ბიჭო. ეგეთი გააქვთ მე ბანი დაადეთ. დაწერ და ჩუჩუ მოიცეთ კითხვა. ძე ეგეთი ბოტასები გააქვთ მე ჩატში? ნოაც გაფიცით და დონკასუაც ეგეთი ბოტასები გააქვთ? ნახე რა ნაბოზრებიაცია. ევასებათ ვინმეს ეგეთები? ყველას ბანი დაადეთ ვინც კი დაწერს. კი მე კენსელას ბანი ერთიანი. გაგას ბანი ერთიანი. ორი ცალი ჯოეს ბანი ორდღიანი. სამუდამოიცი. ნახე რა დეთის ტყნებიაცია. რა დეთის ტყნებია ბიჭო. იმენა ჩემი კა. აი იმენა. იმენა ანუ ყველა თეთრი რაღაცეებია იმენა ცალ მოდგმა აქ იმენა ანუ 8 სართულიანზე რო ისინია ხო იცი? მიდგმები რაღაცები. მერიაში რო განცხადებოდა შეიტანო რომ ვითომ ბალკონს აკეთებ და უთებ ოთახს უაშერებ ხო იცი ეგ თემაა.
But this time around they changed it up. They brought in the ambulance and they did it for their opponents, not for themselves. With Carrigan at the helm, this is where things are supposed to be different. But it has still been 399 days since they last lifted a trophy.
ჩემი 400 დღეა ტიპებს არ მოუგია თითქმის. 400 დღე არაფერი მოუგია ამ კლებს 10 მილიონი დაждდა ეს გუნდი. 10 მილიონი რაღაცაში გადავიხადო და არაფერი არ მოიგონ. გამოყლევდები ჩემი. იმენა 4-4 არა 6x6 რო არის ხო იცი Mercedes-ის B-კლასი ეგ არის. აი მონესი სხვა აურა აქ იმენა რა. როგორი ღიმე. აუ ძმა მაგის ხელფასი მქონდეს და თუ გინდა მაგაზე 10 სანტიმეტრი დაბალი ვიყო კიდე ყველაზე მკიდია. საბოლოოდ სიმაღლე ტრაქში გამიკეთე იმენა არაფერში არ იყენებ ადამიანს. არა დონკას ურავთ ნახოთ აბა ვისურვებთ ჩვენ. აუ ბიჭო იოსუკე რანაირი კაცია ბიჭო მგონია რომ იმენა კონკუროს ტრაქში კონკუროს მგონია ეგრე გამოიყურება ნახე რა საყვარელი კაცია.
Come up here, everyone else, get ready for the grand final. You didn't even say anything yet or do anything yet. And here they are. The ambulance siren is going off like crazy. But also for you, a grand final, the first since Budapest. Your first time in the Falcons jersey. Just give me the temperature check.
Oh, it's going to be a fun game. The guys are hyped. I'm hyped. I'm just looking forward to.
Ai ფინალი რა მიდი რა კაი ფინალი დაგვიდეთ რა კაი ფინალი ერთი 1500 კაცი რო შემოვიდა. Именно овертайм фурия ის რო იყო ნიუკი ეგეთი გვინდა იმენა.
Что это будет замечательный финал, будет очень весело. Все мои ребята на диком хайпе и хотят разорвать в этом гранд-финале.
Looking back at some of the games you guys have had, the limited time you've had to prepare, I want you to be as honest as you can with me.
Დონკასამდე იქნება ხელფასი. ბიჭო არ ვიცი 70 ალბათ 70-ად. იგი ხელფასი იქნება და.
You calling on the fly.
Not many of those round of practice I can tell you that.
And
the way we approach the game, but it's a balance constantly. We are playing free and mid-rounding a lot and let's just
like it's more қатასე საიდუმლოს გეტყვით.
But let's look forward to it.
В катке, которую Falcons сыграли позавчера, Джеймс спрашивает, что зарешало больше, подготовка или решение прямо посередине игры. Керриган говорит, конечно, что к этому невозможно быть готовым ко всему, что мы увидели с вами, но он говорит, что это, наверное, баланс между подготовкой и решениями внутри игры.
ის Magic Sarისთვის მოიყვანეს, просто არის იქ მაყურებელია. So 100 ლაიქს ავდით. მოკლედ, საიდუმლო არის ესეთი. საკუთარ ხელს თუ დააჯდები და დააბუჟებ დიდხანს და მე მაგი ჩამოკრავ, გონია რომ სხვა გიკეთებს და მაგარ სიამონებაში ხართ მე მოიცოდით. გარში მასწავლის ეგ. მოიცოდით და გამოგადგებათ. კიდე ერთ საიდუმლოს გეტყვით 200 ლაიქსეც მე.
Братан, right? Kerrigan сообщает, что Кесуке Макс — это его новый братан, и он очень рад играть.
And lastly, you already spoke about it a little bit, but having this map pool ready for a best of 5, how much of this is going to be you're ready, you know what you're doing, and how much of it is going to be that mid-rounding, calling on the fly?
I think it's a balance. We will find in the game. Some are set pieces, some are mid-rounding. We will see if the guys are feeling it.
Воу.
Да есть Magic,
о том, что вы можете здесь проиграть вообще. Окей.
Ох. ეს Magic არის მოიყვანეს, ან просто დეკორაცია ასავით დგას.
Ну и в подготовке к этому матчу важнее даже не подготовка, а принятие решений как раз-таки уже по ходу этой игры, которая будет замечательной.
Now for you, Magics, back-to-back grand finals from Rio to now. What are you seeing in your team that's maybe changed or improved over this event?
I
think that we're just pressing buttons better, and it's just getting better.
Мы просто отлично нажимаем свои кнопки, и будет еще лучше.
You faced Falcons twice in Rio. 1 win, 1 loss.
Вы против Фалконов играли дважды на Рио. Одно проиграли, одно выиграли.
They're cheering for you. How much more deadly is Falcons with Kerrigan compared to when you last faced them? Does it change anything for you?
Что-то поменялось с приходом Керригана в Falcons, по-твоему? С точки зрения того, насколько они страшнее?
Magic-ს ხოიცის ინგლისური რას უთარგმნის ეს შემისა. ის ფილის გამახსენდა რა ქვია. რილსი რო არის ერთი ხოიცი. ტრანსლეიტორს რომ მიიყვანენ და არაო შენ ხარ ესა თარჯიმანიო, არა შეედო და ის ერთმანეთს დააყრიან მერბოლს. ეგრე იყო ეს ტიპი იმენ.
Well, this is great. We understand which way the crowd is going. There's the ambulance sirens. There's the chance for spirit. But this is your moment, Astana. This is where you get to thrive in the grand final and show us everything you've got. So, I want everyone, take your mobile phones out, put them in your hands, turn the light on. We need to light this arena up.
Ребят, давайте сделаем этот праздник еще светлее. Достанем телефоны, врубим на них фонарики. Я вижу все больше и больше нас.
Up, everyone up. We'll put down the lights in the arena. If you have a phone, put that light up there. This is the Kazakhstan power. This is the community showing their best. And what we need for you is, you had your first S-tier event with the elite teams last year. You wanted it so much, and PGL came back. Now you need to give us your energy, your voices, every bit you have left in you. When you leave this arena, I want you to have 0 voices left.
Дайте шуму! Ребят, это финальная игра. Это последняя игра для нас с вами здесь, на этом турнире. PGL привезли ради вас. Ради нашего комьюнити, ради нас всех, кто любит Counter-Strike. Один из лучших турниров в году. И это наша последняя возможность показать всему миру, что мы любим здесь КС. Вы любите КС? Я вас не слышу, Astana!
ამათმა ფურია გააგდეს, დაენძრა სპირიტს იმას კაცო ფალკონებს, უეჭველი ფალკონი იმის სპირიტებისკენ იქნებიან მთელი ყაზახი. Para ფინალია კიდე. რამე არის ფინალი? ნავი Gamer Legion. Yay!
We are ready as well, James. And as I said, remember, best of 5. Where you're going to hide? Turns out there's nowhere. It's Falcon Spirit, and they are going to have to go the distance.
I don't care where we're playing, Richard. I'm just ready to get this thing going. Give me whatever map you need. Let's get some Counter-Strike flowing.
I think everyone's just going to be going wherever they're comfortable at this point. The maps don't really matter. Maybe Anubis is a question which we can touch upon, but that's going to be later in the series.
That is really my one curiosity, if one team is going to bring out Anubis a little bit earlier than the 5th map decider here.
Yeah, it's not. But of course, we'll probably get the vetoes out of the way. Bend Inferno, bend Overpass.
Like every
Team in
history, seemingly, overpasses.
Oh, Ramagarisha, so overlay.
Is that what you think?
100%. You go Duster. You'll be the best team.
Dust story. Dust story გამოვიცავი. აბა რა maps გაპიკავს. Falcons პირიტი. Dust story. ესენი რას გაპიკავენ ახლა? Nuke ან Ancient-ი? Mirage პიკავენ ბიჭო? Mirage გაპიკა Falcons-მა? ემი, კარგი, რა განაცხადია? რა განაცხადია?
I mean, what have we got here? I still am curious if we're going to get the Anubis. I feel like it's a bit tall of a task to ask for them, but okay, yeah, we're going to go with Ancient. It's become a little bit more comfortable. I'd say there was a bit of a downturn, but don't be too comfortable on Falcons against them on Ancient, because they were the best team in the world in 25 on that map.
Once upon a time, for sure, new coming in, and there we go. Neither of these two teams really wanted to duke it on the map. They really haven't played much. But I'll tell you this, if it does go to Anubis, it's going to be absolute chaos.
I mean, what can you say about this? You've got the 3 maps you would want up front. You have front-loaded this series with all of the quality. Spirit have looked unbeatable on Dust 2. Looked so good on it, but it's a brawly map. It's an aim-star map. It's the classic place of the pugilists.
It is. One thing that I'm looking here beyond just the map stats is, can Nico break his own streak against Spirit? He used to be one of the best in the world. We used to talk every death segment about him and Monacy. Used to just always put Spirit in their place, but that's not been the same in the Falcons jersey. The last 2 times in arenas, it has been Spirit getting the better of Nico. And so Kerrigan, he has to imbue this team with a resilience that mirrors his own career.
Yes, indeed it does. Spirit have been so dominant on us too. 15-2 record, one of their losses to Vitality, the 2nd best D2 team in the world. It's because of that death ball led by Donk and Tanir being activated as a trade fragger. It's what Mali was talking about. Now it's not just Donk go kill, it's Donk go kill with better flashes and better support from his team. They're going to provide such a big mid-B threat as well. Let's see if Kiyosuke and company can handle it.
All right, guys, we're about to get into Dust 2. We've got 2 of the best teams in the world, one of the best crowds in the world. We need 2 of the best casters in the world to call this one.
Woo!
Astana, thank you for being here today. We have a very special grand final. Spirit and Falcons. The fact that Kerrigan could take this team with essentially 4 stand-ins to a grand final, and now we get to see if he can complete the somersault.
You know, all you need sometimes is the shepherd. And so that is what he looks to be tonight. To guide them forward when it matters most. To give themselves a newfound sense of self-belief. Everything leads to this grand finals and a chance for Kerrigan to shock the world in his first outing in that white and green jersey. This is what it all comes down to. Team Spirit on the other side, of course, looking to just weaponize Donk as they always do, but weaponize him fine-tuned, sharper than
ვინც ეხლა 200 ლაიქამდე დააწყაპებს 5 სანტიმეტრი მოემატება. სო, დღეს მეტი ივენთი აღარ იქნება, ეგ ივენთია მათო.
Team Spirit, Team Falcons, the clash for Kazakhstan!
Isn't this one gonna be special? We've already seen the power of both of these teams on all these maps. We saw the confidence from Team Spirit in Dom's interview before this final started. We know that the atmosphere is that both these teams believe they can win. Kerrigan's trying to hide his power level and wants us to think that this is going above expectations. But he knows how to make it here, and he knows how to make it past here too.
Monica!
Sick flick on a Monacy to start. Just shuts
down immediately. ეს იმპოსტორი არის, შეპარული რუსია!
2 pistols, 2 opening kills. Monacy able to still play ahead of the smoke as well. It looks like Spirit remains adamant about taking over the middle, but they do just stutter step for a second. Monacy doesn't want to be the reason that numbers go back. He spams through to offer a distraction.
But
now they're back and Spirit think different directions.
Don't get
This is gonna be hard no matter where they want to go. The site has the players ready for it. Clean. Ooh, clean again. Oh, and that's the laundry done. Wow. Didn't get out the front door of mid. Didn't get out the front door of B. No chance at a bomb plant. No trades in sight. And it's a shutdown in round 1 for Falcons.
This is what I think you're going to love to watch, is some kind of a duality between Kyosuke and Tesses over towards that B site. You know, it's the Beretta kills that get a little scrappy there for Monesi, but I think he's happy to kind of thrive within that chaos. Or at least to survive it the first time. Let Spirit know this isn't going to go down as smooth as they'd look for, and now, well, we get clocks out of it. Spirit sat back.
We've heard both of these squads from either Sotfik over on Spirit, or it was Kerrigan in an interview with HLTV talking about the atmosphere and the mood when they go down in rounds early. They played against Furia. Kerrigan said that it was frustrating in the first half of that game. Spirit, however, for Sotfik, said, we're getting better at losing a pistol and still believing that we can win. Now, so far, this run hasn't been that difficult for Spirit. They've handled the situation. They've been pushed a little bit, but they've never looked totally out of control. This could be an early scare for a team who knows that they should be a bit better.
3 bodies lined up and money to be made off Monesi. He'll draw him in. They actually don't jump, even though they lost that bomb. Off that flashbang, trying to get back into it, Monesi says, enough waiting, let's get this on. And so he'll switch right back to the Berettas that kicked off this map. Finds himself another kill, and Kyosuke holds on to the mid doors. You'll get nothing here with the Glocks for Spirit.
Yeah, they didn't want to kick him off with an ace here. 4K for Monesi on the anti-eco hold, denying any money from being wasted. What's he talking about there?
Demonic.
Yeah, I mean, Donk 666 after all.
Surely he's talking about Kerrigan.
Yeah, maybe I've seen a Nico tier once in a while.
Remi, დავალაიქოთ არხი გამოვიწეროთ, ბიჭო. რა კონტენტს გიდებ? მე რა ჩემყარეს გიდებთ, ბიჭო, არა. ბიჭო, ცუდად გამოვიდა, მაპატიეთ. თქვენ მომბაც ვიცავარ, ძალიან ცუდად გამოვიდა. ზოგადად PGL იდებს კარგ კონტენტს, მე არაფერი. რა ცუდად გამომივიდა, მაპატიეთ მე.
I'm curious to see like what sort of timidness might come out of Team Spirit if Falcons start winning these early rounds. Because with this evolution of Donk being set up properly with more utility, right? It's the kind of talk of the town that he's got more support around him.
Skrunkas ნაბოზარის მოუკი გვინდა
All of a sudden, that could change up your timings. Making sure those pieces are in place, making sure that he's not just throwing his life away. Although it never does feel like that, even when he is working with little. Hit that minute mark.
Asymmetry in the setup. This is getting interesting. And
blindsided.
Whoa, first kill.
Კარგი ხარ ნიკო. კარგია, შენ მოგიქან კათარზის. რანაირად გახარ შეჩენ.
That's exactly what you look for. A Monesi fast reaction, a Nico activation, a Kyosuke cleanup. That is the win condition in one round.
That was still Kerrigan getting the flash off.
5-7.
3 on Cat, and they have a full split with the long walk up. Kerrigan has no idea this is coming. Monesi gets the first kill somehow. We thought that might not be a problem. Well, it was. In 3 rounds, Spirit have made 1 kill.
All the setup in the world in that round for Spirit, it just gets suddenly popped on. The 2 players catwalk get just as surprised.
არაფერი არ დამიწეროთ, ჩემი კარი, აშუტკა გვაქვს, ბიჭო, წამოწე, ხა ერთი არ მაპატიეთ.
When that op turns over and Kerrigan, they're not anticipating Nico going forward.
არავინ არ შემაგინდათ, არ გამომაყლევთ.
And not a shot missed.
Oh. It's all perfect.
ისედაც რო ვიძახი ხოლმე ვიდეოში 60 ცენტი უფასოდ აიღეო, ტრაქში გაიკეთეო, მეუბნებიან და თქვენ გამაკლი ხარ.
Falcons couldn't ask for more.
კარგი ხარ. ახალი ლაინაპია მოსადებრის, მაძველით აღარ ვარდება, ხო ხედავ შეცვალეს.
A mid B smoke on a half buy where you don't have a surplus of utility. They'll have to go back and get another one. That might be a setup smoke missing outside of B.
არა, 13 0 არა, ბიჭო, просто რაღაც ეხა ჭირდება რა, ერთი რაუნდი ჭირდება დოკი და დოეთს, რომ
Nico's got a cache of utility.
This next one could hit hard. Kyosuke's just going to commit to the fight now. It's Nico blind momentarily. Here's that Hail Mary.
მირაზია ბევრი იმეტესეს.
At least Shiro
ეხა ეს თუ გაწიაში რომ რა კაი ქილები საღო. Magic-სა? მოიცადე. ეხა იმას გაურაშავენ ეგრევე უნდა გაურაშო ბიზე. ყლეზე უნდა დაიკიდოთ ეგ, თქო ჩემისებო, მარტოა ბიზეტო? ანუ იმენა იდიოტები. და ჩემოვიდა კარიგანა იმენა ვიუ. ბრავო. ავადმ ყოფილითა. I was Kutaisisken gzadzma.
Just go ahead and prioritize the retake. So in what
ეხა ტაიმაუტი მაიღო ყველა ვარიანტში. აუ ის ნახე დონკა ისეთ ფორმაში რო იყოს ახოძე იქნება მოდი.
Shocking start here for Falcons. Very quick to all the rotations.
ბიჭო, რამოდენიმე ვიდეო შემხვდა კარგჩე, დონკა და კიოსუკე თამაშობენ ერთმანეთში და მაგარი ჯმა მიდის იმენა ჩატში ერთმანეთს საჯავდნენ და რამე ის აქვს კონფლიქტი აქვს, აღარ არიან ბრატები. ისევე ვასებათ ერთმანეთი. მე მგონი მაგარი შეყარებულები არიან ერთმანეთს.
That's the best we can say about this half so far. There is no scenario where you go to sleep last night thinking this is how the game will begin. Considering your confidence versus this team.
Zero Monacy wants blood.
ეხა ის გასვინგავს. ეს გასვინგავს.
Untradeable at the moment. Tess goes
Bravo.
in. Dies out.
მიხდა ეგრევე რომ მეორე კაც. ნოტიკა სახე. ტიპის სახე შეხედეთ მობაც გაფიცებ იმენა რა რეაქცია.
Tess's spray's looking a little bit funky right now. Two rounds. He gets one bullet damage there.
ამ ფინალის მერე იმას უნდა უყურო, ძალიან გაასწორებს.
Now it's a risk right now. All Falcons want to do is just dissuade them from coming here.
პირველი რაუნდია სადაც ენტრი აქვს, რავი აბა.
Would love to get one off.
Racherana Bozarija ჩაკუზული რო გამოვიდეს.
Reopen that, so he'll put a smoke in front of it instead.
Honestly, holding this would just be beyond.
Woo!
No second kill. Zontix trades through. Magic's has got the mid-fight. Kerrigan's going to use that advantage of the AUG, but it's a man advantage.
მაგარი ყომარი წავა ძალიან. აი მენა გული მიგდეს. კიდე კაი ბესტო 5-ია. მადლობა ხმე ბესტო 5-ები გახადეს ფინალებში.
Spirit are on the board now with a round. There will be Kyosuke coming in on a flank to look to try to deny exits if possible. The player that they sold to Falcons, the one that could come back to haunt them. At least that's his goal, obviously.
იქით ის ფინალი რო იყოს, არა იქით ვაფშე იქით ძალიან მაგარი
place here for the Falcons, of course.
მაგრად გაიმაზე, მაგარი ფინალი გაიმაზე იქით.
No kill, only a touch of damage. They lose map control, but what they try to do is pretend that nothing's changed. They don't overreact and rotate, and instead hope that either Monacy gets 2 kills and his form is incredible right now. His form is actually always very good versus Spirit. Spirit have to really clutch their money. They cannot let anything more go. It's 2 survivors as they close this round out.
One of those survivors, though, Shiro with his AUG. Shiro, as he tends to be the second highest rated player behind Donk coming into the grand finals.
We have a full house tonight. Upper rafters stacked with fans. And this final, when you've been,
ერთი ფლეშ და კიოსუკე გაყლევებულია იმენა. მაგრამ არ უკეთებია.
Kyosuke right there.
Kyosuke იმენა, წამოიცვა დონკა. დონკიტადო.
Wanted to try to steal some space, but Donk is 0-6 and stood no chance of clearing that.
ამე ხوار შეეშალ, პირიქით ხوار გაპიკეს მაპები ნეტა.
Just leaving him to stew in it. A
horrible
start by Donk standards.
This is a setup we've already seen, but it's not the A split this time.
Nico's still flashed in. He's going to hard commit. Magic's out of the corner. No Xbox pop-up to deal with him. Just another free kill for the Falcons.
I'm loving the use of Cat. It's really well supported.
again, it's very floaty. It relies on a flasher in the back. You got to have someone playing anti up on the bricks. You have to have a rifler like Nico who's confident on those timing swings. And sometimes you'll flash and someone will be playing anti and someone else will swing. It seems risky.
შირო იმით არის, ოჯახით არის მოსული ბალიში, საწოლი და ისა აქვს, რა ქვია, გადასაფარებელი ადიელა და რაღაცეები.
Really talking. Did you see that?
I mean, they have to
be. ყურებიანი ბალიში აქვს ძმას.
Donk is 0-6. They have barely any kills. They've got one ball plant so far this half. Last round they win off of essentially one kill and then a good read on the B take. This round they lose because they took an abnormal risk of having Donk walk out unsupported. Some kind of early round hard read.
And
they kind of don't even get a chance to play. If you don't go and molly out those doors, you don't alert anybody. There was a chance that if Donk walked out and they had some kind of interesting, unique A setup where they're leaving a huge gap in middle, he could literally go for a pickoff. He could start poking towards the window. He could catch somebody turned around or tossing a flash to someone. Nico getting grenades in CT spawn. The question is why that round at that point? We won't get the answer to that. And Spirit won't be thinking about it either. They're going to have to continue forward. They have another bye. And with the introduction of Sotfik, as Mali's brought up so many more times, your utility stats have been amazing. This is not a team that is based only around one guy. Right now, they're trying their best to make it a team effort.
It's almost a tapping back into back.
ემოცია არ გამოუშვა ადამიანმა, რავი, ემოციებისგან შედგება ადამიანი მთლიან და ეგეთი ხალესახი დროზე ხარ, ბევრი ცხოვრება, რავი. ეგეთ ფულსაც გავარტყი და ყველაფერს გავარტყი, აღარ მინდა ძმაო.
This is a round where Sotfik has had a word with the team.
რავი, თუნთესლი ტიპია გამოყალებული ბავშვი. ის რო აკეთებ და
rounds against you rack up.
ასე ხარ. ის რო გავაკეთებ და დისმუტას დავაფარებ ჯერ მოწინააღმდეგეს. მე რაუდგები ვიყვირებ და რავი, რამდენამეს ვიზავ, იცი?
Monasi's vision regained as he goes for the mid peak.
ბიჭო არა, ეგრე არა. ანუ სულ ძველს თუ ბაზრობ არ ვიცი.
Take a look at the map. There's already so much variety here for Falcons. The number of different setups and uses for Monasi. The reason why he's generating so many op kills this tournament.
რაღაცა TikTok ტრენდებს არიან აყოლილი, პატარა ბავშვები არიან ეხლა მაინც. დიდი არ არის 21 წლის. რა კუთხე ქონა აღებული. შეყლოდა.
Yeah, and Donk won't be able
to chase this down. Gabra piki gauketa nabozarma boshko shekhe.
Got an interesting protocol and adjustment. Everybody starts to crunch towards middle.
We go. Both teams trying to remain fluid this round.
So this has to. They're going to try to punish Cat here from the CT side. Will they take this peek and run right into the op?
Bravo, bravo. Kalbi takitfai.
Counter-picked, man advantage Spirit. It's a slow burn that got them here. That bomb's about to cross over. They maintain the...
Oh, Karigana.
It's going to be the off death for Kerrigan, not this time. Nico in the backdrop's got utility flying beyond him. If he can hold catwalk, then the retake could still be underway. But both him and Tessa's dangerously low. And Shiro pinched is still just sitting on this corner. Now that he's missed the shot, they're going to try to gives Tessa something to think about. And Nico does want 37 health versus 2. On 25 seconds, Donk down beneath that lip of the ledge, and Magic's is just going to pop up eventually.
He wants to play active for this. Nico could be a reaction. Second kill for him. Takes out Nico on the inside. It's a missed shot. A rare missed shot for Monasi. The crouch peek out of long doors is not what he expected.
No coincidence. Donk's first 2 kills, Spirit's second round.
Oh, tricky. The way he flashed back into that. They'd like to go for these splits. They've in general known when they can have taken long control. Spirit Falcons are not giving them much of a fight over here if they want it.
დაინახა დაგენძრა თქვენ უბედურებოდ დაგენძრა თქვენ უბედურებოდ
back to it
We had a lot of posturing last round out of Team Spirit. You think Magic sitting on the corner, just setting up util after util. They were even having a bit of a powwow, talking things out before going into commitments. This round stark contrast. You brought up already the Monacy moments on the different parts of the map. Well, now we're getting different flavors of Donk back to back.
line-up-ი გაადრა. მონესი რომ მევასება თავისი ყლე line-up-ებით ისი არავინ რა. ორი კაცი ატოდ გახართ შეაგემ საკეთებენ პროსტო ბისკეტ.
That's why they haven't tried that so often.
Spirit handled that extremely well.
Nico was blind and hard cleared. Bomb will get spotted, but there are just so many numbers. Spirit don't even know they're corralling them at the moment.
So it's just the price tag that keeps in this one. SS is certainly going to feel doomed at this point, so you'll see him trying to fight his way out. Just bring somebody with you, because the odds are you don't get out of here. Now with that op, he'd love to. Shiro holding this cross, tough one for Tess, but he will get through unscathed. Knows that the chase could still be on, but now they've actually got
They've got a stronghold here in the B side. It's not going to be
იცი რა არის განსხვავება აი მაგალითად შიროსა და მონესის შორის? ანუ ფლიქს თვითონვე ამუღამებ. ეხა სად ეხა შიროს ფლიკი და მონესის რო ფლიკები აქვს, ანუ სულ სხვა რეაქცია და სულ სხვანაირი სილამაზით აკეთებს ფლიკებს, არ ვიცი და.
They look like they're about to literally exact B.
ანუ ბიზე შედიან თუ რა ხდება?
That smoke fades, they're coming. See what TSS can hit. First one's good. They pause for a second. They don't double down, so 4 survive on Spirit. Third round collected. Falcons.
ხო, აი დევაისა ხო თესლი ავეპე იყო. მაგრამ კენიესას რო ფლიკები ქონდა, ეგეთი არ ქონდა დევაისას რა. აი ხა ზაივუ ძალიან თესლი ავეპია, ბაზარი არა, მაგრამ აი მონესის вообще სხვა ისაა.
A good map to looking at Donk's stats again, the 1.0 KPR, him having that 1.0 back at Katowice. He's literally again trying to break his own records.
იმენა პრაიმ რონალდო
was something that we thought would never be done ever.
აი ყაზახებს ვერ ვამუღამებტო. ზოგი ნორმალურ ადამიანს გავს და ზოგი ის მას აქვია. ჩინ ხო ჩარხოს.
Well, it might be wide open.
განაირად არიან ეგეთები.
But for now, Falcons are still in the lead and playing very
ყაზახი
good.
მირახავს ევროპელი გეგონებოდა თო.
All we could hope for them in this grand finals. We know the capability, but you know, we remember even Kerrigan going up against Spirit and some of the finals that he's gotten himself into recently. Has brought up his first playoffs of the year.
მაიკა გამოუშვა ეგეთი დონკი არა პატარა ჭუჭუ. და მე ვიდგე და პატარა დონკა იდგას ჩემს ქვემოთ. ეგეთი იმით რომ გამოუშვა ფეინტით. ეგ არის თესლობა იქნება. ზონტიქს არ შეუშვა ხომ პირველი ძმები მე მგონი უკეთესი იქნება რა დონკას მაგირად.
But it doesn't look like this one will be added.
რამიშოვანი ქილი აიღო.
They don't kill him.
Magix has other ideas.
They don't. Kerrigan doesn't take that swing, and now there's actually still only 2 players here. This is still a live wire for Falcons. They're going to be nervous about everything.
რუსები არიან იგენ და რაღაცა.
It's actually insane to me that Falcons have not moved from the A site. The bomb is
No,
lodged back here, but because it was Donk and Zontix to go for the entries, they don't know that that was the plan from the beginning. It's going to be a pause and re-exec, and Magix has put himself in a very interesting spot. And I say interesting politely. It'll be, you know, hard for him to have impact on the right timing. But as it stands, he gets cleared. He doesn't pull any CTs.
Plays the long con.
შირომ თუ შირო აი ხა ტრენირამ პირველი კაც თუ მოკლა შირო უოჭელი გაატრეიდებს იმიტომ რომ ის მარჯვნიდან გამოპიკავს და
They still seem to be on high alert. Now that's going to confirm it. 2 nades fly out. They know they're both right there for the taking.
აი ტრენირას რო ქარის კაცი მოეკლა ის დააზღვრდა კარგად თავიდან.
Solid triple from Kyosuke.
It's amazing on the hold, man.
ფინალია bro, ფინალია 8 ნაზი აწერია რო
Him
ფინალი.
when he's playing B on Mirage.
ჩა კაი ფინალი მინდა რომ გამოვიდეს და my girlfriend is cheering for Falcons. Yeah, it's my.
Nobody's played with more great players than Kerrigan in his career, and you could argue no one deserves to have besides him. He does so well, instantly coming in with the biggest egos and talents. Players who are in their prime or even just barely past it to try to revive their individual ability, and has already done that on Falcons in a shorter period of time.
რა ვიტალიტის ფიქრობ რომ უნდა მოიგოს major.
Falcons for about a year have just been potential, man. They can do it. They're good enough. The joke has always been one more superstar, but the thought in everyone's minds, they're really close.
იმათ რამდენი utility აქვს კიდე შემონახული საღო. ერთ უცემაგდენი utility უკვე თემაა.
This roster is all about harnessing those superstars.
YouTube smoke, short smoke, ყველაფერი დაყარეს.
Realizing potential.
ამას ქვია spirit smoke, ორივე მხარეს უვარდება.
In Astana seemed daunting, and yet here we are, leading Spirit in a grand final 6-3. We do get this walkout for Tier. The first piece of a mid-play. The Kyosuke shuts down. Now, a slight reaction towards the catwalk. This opportunity for Monesi. Now the other opera could post up, but Shiro's also going to push that ball forward. In front of Shiro. Monesi.
ვაიმე ზონტექსა საკაი პოზიცია აქვს. რა დედის ხნა ხდება?
And now Shiro's able to get the better of his counter.
რა ხდება ბიჭო, რა რაუნდია?
ჩემი
რა რაუნდი გაუთამაშე და მონესიმ რამდენი გამარჯვა ბიჭო. ვაჰ.
They've dished it out here on the A side.
Double off.
And Shiro gonna have an up, yeah.
Donk switches
რა ბიჭო, რამდენი ვისაც ვაკებ ყველა რატო ყლევდება და ვისაც ვაგეო რატო იხოდება ყველა.
Doesn't complete it.
რა შედი შეჩერნის რა მინდა გააკეთე.
No Shiro's got that line, so
case რუტინა გააკ. მაგარი ყლეშოთები აქვს.
And now this is a round where Spirit had options. You know, that bomb's still lingering in the back. The rifles got out, ate that flashbang, but Monesi, his worst sequence of this series.
Yeah, you see him, he's generating all of these chances.
There's
one over top of default, the left side of it versus Cat nearly gets upped in the first place by Shiro. So on the one hand, you can give him credit for showing the math. He got his volley out, the flash was good. He gave himself a chance at 2 flicks. They weren't the easiest shots in the world, but he needed them, obviously, for Falcons to grab that round.
არა bro, Opa!
It did look like for Spirit that was about to be a mess. The last 6 here for Spirit. Completely back online.
Well, Donk has had an uptick in performance. This most recent round makes it feel like Monesi is coming off of a peak. He'll be on the M4 this time, and there's a whole cohort coming his way. Early attention. Donk doubles down. And if it's not Kerrigan coming back to the CT cross to stop this cat play, there's still a bit of life. Wanted to try to take this chance.
Dump your utility, get that bomb planted. You know the CTs are slightly out of position.
Planting off front sight. Tesses and Kyose on the approach. Here come the flashbangs. Try to interrupt this. Themselves miss shots. Tesses dead. Tanir's got it. And Tanir now also executed as Kyosuke goes on to the chase. He's got that up close.
Support's a little slow here.
Time for the fresh mag. 20 seconds on that bomb, and Kyosuke doesn't have a kit. He doesn't have a lot of time. Not a lot of wiggle room. And with that bomb planted front sight, he'll be exposed. And that smoke now faded as Kyosuke, feeling desperate to get into this, has to put fire in front of this last piece. And it's too far gone. No defuse allowed. Kyosuke's efforts all in vain. And Spirit close in on Falcons.
Yeah, perfect plant. With how quickly they took the site, they had it open. They knew they came up Cat as well. So just very good forward thinking. There's always been a really late lurker in every one of these situations. Sometimes out of position. This time, perfect position. And once again, they can thank Donk for this.
Oh my God.
Great transfer. The slightest angle off to the right as well. Barely a head showing. If it was anyone else, I'd call it lucky.
Honestly, there's levels to this. First round, Monesi has to play with an M4 versus Donk, and he dies to a bullet bent around the corner.
მაგას ვიძახი, მეორე უნდა შევიდეს, то პირველი მაგის შესვლა არ შეიძლება. საუკეთესო აიმერი მყავდეს, ბიჭო, გუნდში პირველი კი არა, იმით შევალ, რა ქვია. აი ეს ხელება წეული შევალ, მომყანის მეთქი ვით, აი ესე შევალ. ბიჭბი გამატრაიდოს
feels like to me is that Spirit have reverted to a B game of calling oversimplifying, going back to, honestly, how they used to play this map like a year ago to just focus on get one guy out in front of Dom, go for a 2K trade. It's actually worked to get him back in this half. The way they played Dust 2 recently, though, they played it on a completely different level.
I agree entirely. Think about it. We had Donk walk out on that weird timing middle. And that simplification ever since. But now to get through a 5-7 and a scout's the final hurdle here. 3 kills towards tunnels, upgrades grabbed. Pressure out of the CT spawn and Team Spirit go back to playing with the clock. It could wind up being their demise in the 12th.
It's the two-headed Hydra. They have a couple fights. Honestly, we'll take that out.
Go ahead, hunt down Kerrigan all you want. You've got 15 seconds with a smoke in front of you and only 1 point to make sure Shiro tries to get lucky. Kyosuke puts an end to it, and Falcons will pull off a bit of X Factor, something we haven't seen all that
long. And again, I think it taps back into, we're seeing Spirit go right for tunnels. They're going for the mid walkout. They're going just doing that snake up cat with everybody trailing behind. Have a good chance to get two entries. But again, really reverting back. And also, I mean, showing their range. You can't always play well to kick off a huge series. You can't always show up on the day and have everything go smoothly. So the fact that they could go back to that and make it work at the same time is impressive. But it also makes sense that Falcons with 7 rounds this half started out looking so strong, and overall showed us plenty of good things to get them credit for. Setups, the variety, the op kills in for Monesi, the flashes, the amount of time that they took advantage of Dom, and also the B-holes.
ეგ მომენტი მე ვასება, აი სხვას რო ესვრის, ხო იცი მოწინააღმდეგე, აი რო დაადუღებს სმოკს და რო გადიხარ და გვერდზე რო იყურება, ვაფშე რო არ გიყურებს და ეგრე. ბავშვი.
Kyosuke has 15 frags to Monesi's 12. Both very handsome score lines to be rounding out the first half of a final.
არა, 200 არ მithქამ შე. ფიქრობ რომელი საიდუმლო მაქვს ან და მოვიფიქრებ და გეტყვით.
Give yourself that smidge of confidence coming into a valuable second pistol.
Kerrigan knows how much this pistol can mean. Saw him already play into the late hours versus Furia. Every round matters.
Donk sends the flash in for himself to go back in. We'll see whether Falcons fall for this trap. And whether Tenier can hit shots from the back of the head, because we know how difficult that can be. He's got the chance.
Don't get nervous.
უკრინდან USP-ს როლეს დედა შევეც. რანაირად მოკლა ორივე.
Tenier will still have a shooting gallery of triple kill from inside of the pit.
He does push back.
Kyosuke tries to just keep him peppered, keep him pinned. There's support.
Talk
about tenacity.
Tenier on 4. The guy who amped up his gameplay back at Rio. The player who came in to try to support Spirit's core. Not just come in as some kind of support, but who started off slow. Has really started to find his groove now. And show us the ability that he showed us when he was styling on Tier 2 and 1.5 teams back on Heroic.
I'm gonna say 2 valuable rounds out of Tenier. He finds that sequence for 4. He's also the guy that when those flashbangs landed on Catwalk and Donk died after the double entry on Eco and Monesi, he brought that back. He opened A site. He put Monesi down. And we know that was a driving force in that streak of victory Spirit were able to find.
This totally changes the complexion of the game. CT side up for Team Spirit. They're within 1.
Beautiful indeed. Just perfectly placed. Think about it. This guy is 7 and 10, has 2 multi-kills, one of them 4 frags.
მე მინდა იცი როგორ მოხდა ეს. დასტი მოიგოს იმან მირაჟი, მან ეგრე რა, ბოლო მაპამდე რომ მივიდეთ რა. ამის მერე გავწურავთ იმას Falcons.
Whole pack of players on the other side of that. They figure out what's going on.
Კარგი ხარ Magic.
Just lets loose on the lead. Ooh, little fadeaway USP for the style points. On for the ace.
Yeah, make it happen.
არა, მილენიუმი არ დაშლილა. ეისი. ეისი ხნა.
Pulls one out.
Magic-ს ეისი გეწერათ იმას.
By the lack of buy out of
ეკნებოდა 80 კუში ხო?
and a little crowd.
ბორია.
Smiling
sad guy.
from ear to ear. A new IGL for Team Spirit. Round 15, and this one's for the lead.
Was once a 5-1 Falcons start to this game. Long gone. That's without Donk having a takeover game just yet. That's without anybody over on the side of Team Spirit being untouchable. In contrast to Monasi and Kyosuke, it's quite shocking to find this game tied.
Yeah, they all have unenviable scorelines at the moment. The only thing they're happy about is being tied on rounds. They know that'll have to change because this isn't a game where one team has superstars. One where both do.
მოვკიდა ხარჯეს და გავიდა
time being, same could be said on Monasi's
ნახე იმას დაელოდნენ რომ უოჭველი შირო საპორტზე მოვიდო და ახლოს და ლეითად გაგიან სააღო აი რაუნდია ფოტოშოპს და ტნირა
worth his weight in gold.
ნირა ოფენგზია
Soon versus this commitment out of two rifles and the
აურა
tech
კარგად
trying to set up
და ფლეში მარა იმათი ფლეშიც რა კაი იყო
It is Tessa
შორტიდანაც რა თაიმზე შემოდიან
catching Shiro just trying to tuck into that car and denying the Xbox climb up.
კიოსუკე რა თამაში ქონია 17-6-იო ტო რუსები თერავენ ნახე კიოსუკე მონეს
It's a very clean split. Where we even saw around this convincing on a rifle at a Spirit in that first half, so they'll feel very good.
Falcons win IGL. Star player yari karigane Kyosuke
they were
IGL.
looking for last round. They make up for it now. And they deny Spirit from taking a lead in this game.
Არა, full time streamer ვარ. ხმობა 300 ლაიქს გავიდეთ 600 კაცი ვარ, კარგი ვეკატრებე, დავაი. გეზარება, მეც კაპეთ.
You identified it, that change up in strategy, going to plan B in the first half.
რა live game, ჩემი რა live game ამ ტურნირზე კარიგანე რაც მოვიდა ამ გუნდში კიოსუკე მაგარი გახსნილია, აი ვაფშე სხვა თამაშს ვაფშე. მაგარი ჩაკეტილი ყავდათ მე მგონი. არასწორად იყენებდა აშკარად ის გამოყლევებული კიქსანი. ან კიქსანასაც რო შეხედავდი იმენა მოჯმა გინდება აი ხო აი ჩემ მე მაგალითად ეგეთი აი ადამიანები ყავს ეგეთი რა რომ ვუყურებ მეჯულია იმენა აი ესეთი ჭიდენა სახე აქვს ტიპებს რომ იმენა რო დაინახო ადამიანს შენი დღე უკვე სო აღარ ვარგა რა ეგეთი იყო კიქსანა იმენა აი მაგას რო უყურებ 24/7-ზე გამოყლევდები ჩემი ეგეთი იყო ჩვენი ქოუჩი ის რა ქვია სტიკლა ო მაგა ბიჭო რო ვუყურებ ტიპს იმენა სო მეჯმოდა უკვე რა ის მე მეძრეოდა ანუ თო ნეგატივი მქონდა უკვე ავტომატურად ანუ ესეთი ყალი სახე ქონდა აი ცი როგორ სახე ქონდა აი კამაყოფილი რო არ არის არა ადამიანი
If you can stop Falcons after their first terrorist round win, then good on you. Tanir's going to come
forward.
Falcons probably aren't ready for the rest of this. Missed on shot. Dog dead. Tess on the rebuttal, but Tanir sticks around.
It's welcome for Tanir.
Triple kill off that cat push as the lower tunnel play didn't pan out. He makes up for it in spades.
Suddenly a hero here on CT's side. I thought with a missed op shot there for Shiro that this was going to untangle in the wrong way. The call for Spirit is perfect. They sneak one up cat. Kerrigan thinks he has information from Suicide. He's watching, but doesn't see that push. They taken over lower tunnels at the same time. There are Spirit chants in the crowd.
ტრენერა თავის საქმეს აკეთებს რა ეხა რო თქვა რომ სუხოძია თქო ვერა მაგრამ აი სტაბილურობა აკლია ცოტა აი ყველა თამაში რო კარგ დონეზე ჩაატაროს აი ისე დონეზე
get close essentially you know the job is basically done Tanir's going to spot another How is he gonna ace?
Yes.
Yes. Oh,
ვაიმე რა ცოტა
Nico's final
დააკდაისამდე
hurdle, and Tenier just can't get it over, but ton of damage done, 4
Magic,
kills,
საბაში
Nico,
გამოყლევებული
5 health,
თუმცა
empty AK. In other circumstances, maybe you could believe in that Kovac magic, but not with Tenier. Going forward off of the push and making up for the fact that Shiro's missed op shot lower was going to leave a lot of space for Falcons to maybe work with, right? They take over the base of mid, you fall back off catwalk, but Tenier's got other ideas. Gets his kill inside of Suicide, falls back, and just draws the line in the sand. Bottom mid entry denied.
But you love to see a setup that makes the team look like it just stalled. And if they can afford to miss the op shot and still have 2 players and chances to trade, lots of map control the other team didn't think about. That's kind of what was missing at the beginning of this game. That I feel like now that Spirit have warmed up into it, they're willing to take more complicated risks.
განიკანა ძალიან დიდი საკრიჭო თეორიული ცოდნები და პრაქტიკაშიც გადატანილი აქ ყველაფერი. მნიშვნელოვანია. აუ ნიკოს იმენა.
And even though he doesn't bring
Would have loved it.
knows the round's over, but
Fast move, Kyosuke off the op with the spawn. He goes for long. And lets them
Kyosuke
hear it.
ავეპეთი ნიხულისები. ეხა დაედო ნიკოს ბომბი იმდენ სანცას და
Right now, the counterpart in Shiro is again trying to apply pressure to tunnels. We saw him in lower, not even get a chance last round. So he tries to take over tunnels from the other side. Falcons waiting for that mid smoke to come up, hoping maybe they could find Shiro in a fair head-to-head op duel. But Magic's looking like he wants nothing to do with that door line. So Shiro stays here, stoic. They will find a 5 versus 4 on a Falcons
რა
player
გაპიქონდა ბიჭო
unprepared.
დაჭერილი.
massive that he sees exactly
აი
where he's
ესეთი
going to be
ნაბოზარი
setting up
რაღაცეები
utility
ევასება
from.
რა შიროს. მაგაშიათ ეს გამბიტი იმაში რო იყო იანგსტერში რო იყვნენ ბიჭო მაშინ აუ რას შვებოდა რას შვებოდა ტიპი რა ეიფიქნეს მაშინ კამანდა აკადემიებმა იმენა
Donk is ready. Taps away, doesn't kill Kerrigan instantly. Now you've got multiple bodies out. Tenier instead will take the next engagement. Donk going back, doesn't even get his chance.
უიმე მოიცა მონიკა ველიც
Just picking up a couple kills
და
for the
ასევე
road.
მონიკა
No bomb
გაუყე
possession, no teammates to work off of, and no longer a lead for Falcons. Spirit in the lead.
That's something I didn't expect to hear in this game after the start. Again, Donk starting 0 and 6, somehow still on a negative KD.
ვაიმე რებს აკეთებს თო
Trying to hang on to this op dearly. Not allowed.
USB headshot. Op goes down.
Look.
A wildly successful position, and
Არა,
again,
რა
it's
მოხდა?
actually quietly quite a
აი, ლეცა?
cerebral round. The way that Shiro's holding that angle, it's not that he just moved into that position. He had a sliver on someone who was walking up to set up utility, punished that, and none of the A players moved. None of the B players overreacted. They didn't expect an exec to come in, so it was a great read of the situation for Spirit.
And runway with it, as Spirit on the brink of double digits have just pistols up against them. There are a few Desert Eagles sprinkled in.
ამ მაპში სპირიტისკენ ვარ
But there's also a newfound confidence from some of these Spirit
ამის
pieces.
მერე ფალკონისკენ ვიქნები მაინც არც ერთი არ მევასებიან
Comes out of that first half with barely any frags. Now finds himself with the most kills on Team Spirit. And a quad kill in that pistol sure as hell helps.
Quad kill on a rifle
Shiro,
as well.
Shiro about to be faced by pistols trying to go through. You'll give him a little room, but the one that does slip the net is instantly killed by Magic. And it is not looking like a real chance at this point. The bomb trying to get by this Oppers. Managed to get within the zone. Utility to be thrown forward, but that's at least a bit of money here for the Falcons. Unfortunately for the Desert Eagles, never connected. Shiro's here with the cleanup. Says, "Want to play with pistols? Sounds good to me." He gets his quad kill. And so multi-kill potential from top to bottom coming out of Spirit as they extend to 10-8.
Also seeing them win the right rounds, and Falcons having to save up a lot. As lead kind of becomes firm now here for Spirit. We saw an excellent first rifle out of Falcons.
ყაზახ გოგოებს სხვათა შორის არ არიან ცუდები რა ანუ რასაც დავაკვირდი 1-2 ინსტაგრამზე რომ შემოხვდა ლად მახინჯები არ არიან
It's going to be a little bit more
10-დან 5-6-ები არიან
building off of previous rounds, evolving the
შვიდები უკვე
T-side game
კარგები
plan to get a slightly bit more complicated as the rounds progress. I guarantee you there will be no more simple contact explodes just every single round.
Nico met by flames and smoke in front of that. Donk could be caught off. No, here's Kerrigan coming. Still Kerrigan gets the headshot. Tess has to clear out the corner. Means that B-site's prime for the taking. But you've already got Tenier on a fast response again. What they don't know about is Monacy.
Yeah, up on catwalk. There's still someone waiting. The thing is, he's got damaged.
Shiro.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Backs up into it.
And
this is just going to prioritize Spirit, trying to push out through that tunnel exit. They flash Nico momentarily. He regains vision. Tess now wounded. Tenier's about to go doorway. Takes a peek that costs him. Tenier wants more. 2 players left. And it's Nico to spell the difference.
Ooh, gets
Falcons
ugly.
Respond.
Yeah, they do. Big time. Fast mid B play. No one holding on to it from the B doors. It's early. No time for rotations here for Spirit. Correct read for Falcons.
Hey, no.
And Kerrigan barely got away with it, but slams that headshot on Donk.
Yeah, that's true. Magic's got the trade right after, but that was really on Donk.
Monacy better remain cautious because he's got Donk with an op on the field.
Listen, Donk rarely ops, but he also rarely misses with his op. It's still actually a real weapon for him.
You know, it's been a lot of Tenier play off this catwalk.
He's the guy who got an op ace at Budapest.
Kioske just utilizes the right amount of caution. That AWP boost disassembled at a minute 20. Hasn't fired. It's not like they're going to think about it. So the secondary op both now on middle. Let's see if they can trade out Monacy or whether a trade is even needed. Shiro's right here with Donk. Double up set up on mid.
Man, the fact that they're following each other is so different.
Donk first, Shiro second. That's what it was looking to be. But as Donk gets over, unspotted, they are going to leave a vacancy towards middle and just try to throw Donk's off over on B.
Now on the one side, you get a little bit less support.
Unless
he takes a first kill early, it's going to get a little scary for the B players.
Does it come his way?
He's playing active.
Middle will not be as free as Falcons found it last round, but Kerrigan does still lead this charge with bomb.
He wants to call this bluff. Kerrigan's not worried about that molly.
Donk looking to help out tunnels. Kerrigan does get clipped. Now they know about Donk on and off, but we'll see what kind of pressure they apply. Last time, we had Zontix died with nothing. This time, he hangs on. Tess and Monacy respond. Donk is still inside. That AWP looks good. Looks real good.
But he has that off in the That's quite a sequence from a guy who does this part-time.
Just a hobby. Falcons will trail by 2 again, and that round leaves Falcons strapped for cash. An awkward one here. Zonic takes this timeout he wants in. Still yet to string together any consecutive rounds on this T side are Falcons. So you've got to figure it out, and you've got to figure it out now.
Problem is, with that round, the next one that you're going to give up, that's a question. A half buy earlier here for Falcons. They're going to try it again. I mean, Spirit are obviously liable to lose a round like this, and the 2 ops, well, they can be a liability. Again, can be nice versus walkouts, but not always versus a half-buying team. Already denying all the information that Falcons want to save for themselves. That molly will help Shiro.
Kerrigan walks wide. Nico sails beyond that frag grenade, and Donk's going to rattle off an ops shot, so they hear it.
This is about Falcons. Get as much space as you can without getting spotted.
Donk's leading all the way back on platform, has Donk to also play off him. No pounce while they play around with utility.
They're paranoid to write the right thing. Magic's already making the lead.
Donk still smoke in hand. Numbers look appropriate for the situation. We get that lurk smoke at the end of the tunnels. But what will be behind it? Zontix has this nade. He could place it for damage.
How's that arm?
He could expose them. In the pipe. Perfection. Add to it, the Kerrigan dies towards middle with nothing, and Donk is here to support you. It is confident inside this B site. And a staved off pistol buy from Falcons. You will find nothing.
And it seems like a small win to win that half buy. Trust me, that could have been converted. Falcons did about 70% of what they were trying to look for was really get past a lot of the info that Spirit were trying to gather, and they were doing so very proactively to give themselves a chance at a B split that Spirit don't know about. But Magix, he made the rotation correctly to support the op and the rifle. And the second op persists.
Two separate halves now. We've seen an evolution from Spirit. Not the
first team to
wield two offs, but putting it to perfection. Losing the duel though versus Odyssey.
He said, look who's faster.
I like that Magix instantly picks that bad boy right back up. So still a double off for Spirit.
4-ზე უნდა დაწყებულიყო, მაგრამ ამათმა პირიქით გადმოწიეს. ისინი ხო არ წევენ ხოლმე, იმენა ზუსტად თავი დროზე იწყებენ. ამათმა გადმოწიეს.
To defend their hopes of winning
this game. ის მალე მოჩა ის პირველი თამაში და მაგიტო გადმოწიეს. იქ მაუზმა მოიგო, ხო?
These have been the apple of Kerrigan's eye so far. And it's also something that Spirit know that they always try to get. So, again, in an active covering his tracks, there's a lurk in place. But it's not necessarily
Zontix on the other side to near head tucked on A.
That smoke's gonna get phased. He will walk through.
But it's all about the timing. Take a bit of damage. Zontix comes out with the kill. It's gonna be Tanir. Yet again, rock solid throughout the CT side. Donk's looking for an on-kill. Modesty's got the better of him, and it's Tess has to open that bomb site for the plant. Man advantage momentarily. Zontix quick to the scene. With a kill to his name already over Nico, he may have just gone unnoticed. What sort of timing can he pull off here?
Oh, they got to make sure the communication's good. Keep an eye on this.
Tess has low HP, easy pickings. Exposed Kyosuke, holds on for that one. And you've got the two best performing players for Falcons still alive, and Magix wants none of this.
They have a decent amount of money, but he's going to keep the op in play. Spodacy to actually take out both of the double op setup here from Spirit. Outdueling Shiro, taking out Donk as they go towards the A site. That puts him on 20, gives Falcons 10. So again, the idea is very simple, but it builds off of what we've seen out of Falcons so far. Their affinity for the B splits. The double smokes out middle just to make sure that nobody moves, or best case somebody comes from CT over towards B. Babushka Kerrigan.
Oh, that's a Falcons
Luckily, there's nowhere he'd rather be, and I don't think anywhere anybody would rather have him.
When they played against Furia, name another IGL that could have got one kill every 4 rounds, because that was about his KD and still win. And he said in the interview recently, there's a lot of microing that he has to do. In playoffs, it's still working, but he's sacrificing a lot to make sure that all of his other pieces are being successful. And that might just sound like chatter if he didn't actually turn it into results. And they won the hardest game of the event so far. So many moments where Furia could have closed it, but Falcons came up clutch, which was a story we didn't know would take place. There were no guarantees.
Falcons have 6 one-off round wins since the 4-0 start. This would be the first time they win 2 in a row since they started this game on the right foot. And if Team Spirit can stave that off and end it now, 13-10, it'll be a real testament to Falcons and the difficulty they'll have at stringing moments together as this Grand Finals goes on.
How confident does Kerrigan feel about this round? That's what I want to know, because even though they got the 5v4 in that previous round, they almost got shut down on CAC. It almost was a 2K hold, and retake.
Good flash.
კარგად ხარ, შენ თავს ვიცავარ, კარგად ხარ.
Kioske gets one as well.
Bam, Shiro ერთი.
It's all up to him.
ვაიმე, კარგად ხარ, კარგად ხარ.
The flashbang
და
connects.
მოუტყვის.
Perfect utility there out of the Falcons. As you Blankton, you're behind the door. Let
ვინც
Kioske
cover
off the
time-იო, ენა
chain.
მოაჭერეთ ეს.
And on top of that, just end the offer of Team Spirit right there in the mud. This is Kerrigan to plant and Falcons to push us to 24.
Spirit had no idea exactly what Falcons were going to try to do, but the positions they had, as we can see the X's on the mini-map, I think they were quite content in the case that it became an A play. But they don't go for the flash for the corner peek. They go for the flash to make sure anybody holding on that side of the doors was dead. It's, again, a good read. They really didn't sacrifice anything to make this round possible. And Donk's impact this game has been dubious. Obviously, he started 0-6, he's 13-14 now, but we have seen so many 2K entries and holds out of him. I think his impact goes beyond those two numbers for the moment. But now that we're in round 24, it's all up for grabs.
I can't help but wonder what version of Donk we get in this final round of regulation.
მაგარი ყლებაა აქვს, overtime-ის სუნია მართლა. არა, ავეპი აქვს.
We've seen him unleashed, we've seen him op.
ვაიმე, როგორ არ მოხდა და თითქოს ორივე line-up-ში ყავდა
No
თითქოს.
real shortcomings for Spirit barring Magic's MP9. Feeling like a fair fight to finish off round 24.
აი ხა მაგარ შეცდომას უშვებდა ეგ შორტერო ყოფილიყო Shiro.
Oh, this setup is so active for a walkout. So active for a walkout.
ვაიმე, ეს მაგრად მეზიზღება ხომ ამ setup-ზე ტერორისტები სულ იტყრებიან ამ setup-ზე. მეორე, 2-2-ში ტრეიდი, შუა გადაკეტილი აქვს.
Somehow with two, but now it might be
კარიგანაც აქ გადაკეტილი დაგვეძრა.
Kerrigan himself
Kerrigan
trying to
is-
stave off the
What?
rotate. Instant headshot. Tanir and Shiro looking for the trade. Kerrigan's got himself two. The Shiro, of course, in a clutch to put things back in question as the bomb remained outside of tunnels the entire time.
There's a little bit too much time to think. Why isn't the bomb getting planted? Are they late with it? Do I have a chance to interrupt this? Shiro, whose clutch stats were at a low last year, who's brought them up for this event, will go for this.
ახლა ის გადაკროსავს და ის ვინდოუდან გაპიკავს.
Tessa starts to stop. That's the distraction.
ვინდოუ გაპიკე, ვინდოუ.
Doesn't go. We need OT.
რაო ტაიმები წავიდა პირველივე მაპში გეუბნები თუ აი ამ ფინალის მერე აი იმ ფინალის დეგის მუტელი მოხდა.
They like it's FaZe Clan. But
აუ
again,
რანაირი ბავშვია შენი დედა მოხდა.
Match pause going into overtime. Anyone's game. And I think a lot left on the table. Probably some nerves on the table. Not everybody having the stellar performance you would expect. On the one hand, Spirit give up this win right away in regulation to Falcons, but on the other, they started the first 4 rounds with 1 kill. So they might still feel comfortable. But two guys who have had consistent impact in every map of this event.
How blessed are all of we to watch these two players touch Counter-Strike?
Oh yeah, I mean, somehow you want to say generational talent. And it feels like they both are and exist in the same generation.
Yes! Yes! Fucking nice! It's good, boys. I told you, smile! It's a cinema.
Smile.
Let's go, boys.
Oh, God, again.
Someone yells at you to smile. They're happy.
It really is something Kerrigan brings to his team as a leader. Just enjoy the moment.
როგორ არ ხდება ძმა ამისავე რა ჩინური ტყვები და
how long these moments will last. And there's nothing he loves more than playing this game on these sorts of stages in front of these sorts of crowds. Astana! Make some noise! Overtime in our first map of a best of 5. Blessed.
Footsteps over top of Cat, trying to elicit some utility. Kerrigan not willing to take any kind of further risk, but even just drawing out a little utility, especially versus a Cat play, sometimes in a default. Well, you're trying to cover your tracks, you're trying to do a first tier exec to see what the other team has, what the setup is. versus Cat, they've got to make
პირველი
sure
მაპი თუ ესეთი ბენგერი გაიჩითა უკვე კაია.
the nades can't punch them as they're trying to cross.
მონესი.
From Donk though, right? The other side.
ვა, ბიჭო, აი ესეთებს არ აცილებ ხოლმე ბებე, რაღაცა გჭირი შენ დღეს.
There's players on the other side of this.
აი, ტნირა საიდან დააგდათ. არი განაკრებს შიროს უკეთებს ქილს და მონესი რა კარგი ტაიმი.
It's a crazy move. They
ხო
don't know where he's
გაიგო რომ
going.
მოხდა. არა, არა, გაიგო რომ მოხდა.
Bomb is here underneath the feet of Donk, and then at the
Donk-ას
same
აქ
time,
ბომბი.
Kerrigan gets that kill from inside CT spawn. But Donk has got what Falcons want.
They're sharing a wall, don't know their neighbors. And
აი, კარიგანა რა ქილებს აკეთებს არ გამოუყლევდეთ.
From Finn himself.
ა დონკას ის უნდა მოეკლა, მონესი უნდა მოეკლა უოჭო.
20 on the clock. You can't run from him now. You've got to try to hunt him down, and he will kill the first one with ease. It's Monesi's off posture. Trying to sit on top of that Xbox. They know they've got this fight locked in.
he can't escape.
But who runs from
ო, ათეწამ დრო აღარ აქვს, უნდა გაიცე.
now? He's just gonna run for the hills.
The first time you've ever seen Donk run away.
Just flee the scene.
When have you ever seen Donk run away?
რა თქმა გასამიერცე მოიგო ბიჭო არ გამოუყარა.
And how often do you ever see him in a clutch? A 1-on-3.
The amount of individual moments in this round.
It was a puzzle for him to figure out how he could even get across this door, knowing Monesi's on the other side waiting for him.
To near flank top mid, Kerrigan, Cat,
ნიკო რა გააკეთა, მიატოვა მონესი?
A Donk push through smoke, pathing right under Monesi's nose, and a
ანუ
1v3
ფალკონი დაუბრუნდა თავის ფესვებს, ანუ ფესვებს მაინც არ კარგავენ, ანუ შეუძლიათ რომ 마ინც გატრყონ რაუნდები.
I thought that there was no chance that happened.
ის რატო არ ჩამოვიდა, ანუ 3-1 ხარ ბომბი გაქვთ, მაგრამ რო ტაპსო დააჭირა და დონკაო ავეს დედას მოგვიტნოს და აღარ იმაშველა მიდიოდა.
Showing that he's not just all brawn.
ევასებათ ესეთი ყლე რაუნდების წაგება ფალკონებს, ეს დიფაულტია ძმებო. აუ რა სტრაფი რაუნდია, მაგრამ დონკიტადო. მიიღო ერთი.
You don't have him running for the hills, you have him sinking his feet into the sand and locking down the middle portion of the map. All Zontix has to do is cut down this bomb. He'll do exactly
მე რა ფლეში იყო მაგიქსას.
second victim in this one.
მონიკა ბელუჩი.
Chance for Monesi to clutch, but the pressure's on and that
და
consistency
დაპლენტლიდან
in the
ტნირა
top flank
დააჯერებს.
spells
მე რამდენი
this out.
შემოეტელა ის ვოლს.
Spirit gun.
მე სტრიმი დავალაიქით არხი გამოვიწერეთ.
CT side in overtime.
They
ონა
don't
იქნება.
look to
არ
waste that
დაგავიწყდეთ.
round. They turn it into
12-ს გამომწერა მეგვაკლია რამდენი,
situations.
ხა ვიგეთ, რაღაც 200 რაღაცა კაცი. ბევრი არაფერი. 250 კაცი გვაკლია, დავაი.
The full split gets completely countered. They have the long push as a checkmate move out of Tanir. He's still top fragging here for Spirit.
კარხარ მაგრამ. დავით მოყოლეზე ან კიდე უკან ვარ თუ არა ვუყურებ
And
და
Spirit have a
რა
chance
შეა
to
უკან ვარ.
sweep this first OT half.
ვერ ხვდები ან მაგას ატომი.
The money is a problem for Falcons. No op for Monesi. 2 pistols between Tesses and Kerrigan.
Layers coming out for Spirit now. Util already facing this Falcons approach.
Timed these well.
That aim to perfection. Kyosuke's lucky to be up.
Yeah, like a slug moving through that. That was a Hail Mary attempt. It looks like a force by the way that they just tried to caterpillar up Cat together. And they eat the util damage together. They get spotted together.
They're going to be desperate to get something here in overtime.
ერთი რაუნდი მაინც უნდა აიღონ ტიდან.
Forced to keep up this presence towards the catwalk.
ის თავზე დააფრინდება ხა მაგიქსას. აი. რისთვის გადაიყვანეს ოვერტაიმში და ტლირა მე რამდენი შეეტენა ლონგს ბიჭო გიჟია თო.
Time to perfection. action played to perfection was this overtime from Spirit so far.
It almost feels like the amount of map control that Falcons had throughout this overtime was given to them by Spirit. They pulled off that long flank, which is the ultimate sign of confidence that they know what's going on. You don't take that risk unless you're confident that the cat play is coming, or the mid B, or the tunnels walk out. They made sure that they used Tanir to his fullest extent, because if you leave that long guy there too long and he doesn't flank, he can sometimes just be too long of a rotation to stop this. Falcons have to win 3 rounds in a row for another overtime.
Just going to charge down through long doors.
What a turn!
Dunk just whips it. Spinning. Still don't have anything to clamp down on here towards long. A potential fight between Shiro and Monacy, but Monacy's going to miss a shot. And right now, you shouldn't be missing versus this version of Donk. You've got that AWP trained on you if you're Monacy, and still more support with that bomb on the edge of long.
Magic's gonna escape. Why me? Magic's gonna escape.
But Monacy, you can't miss again.
During all that action, we also lost the CT
Why
over
me?
towards middle.
Replace that like Monacy.
Once the smoke fades, Magic's cleans up that bomb site, and he will be looking to put that bomb down in front of Zontix.
The guy we haven't talked about has to come in. They work so hard in regulation to get this chance to fight against Spirit and close out on their favorite map.
The entire distance.
GG, nice.
In a moment's notice. Falcons in overtime. And Donk levels up as that game goes on. We were worried out the gate, but evolution is the name of the game. When we discussed this version of Team Spirit, and we saw it within the very first map of this grand final.
That's the guy.
She said she loves you, but she can't love me.
But I love you.
I'm definitely just on a baby.
I
won't play window anymore.
What's going on?
Play your role. 1xbet.
ხუთი მაპია სულ. მაგრამ შეიძლება 3 როლი მორჩეს. ან 3-2 რა ვიცი. ან 3-2. მინიმუმ 3 მაპი უნდა ვნახოთ ყველა შემთხვევაში. და მაგარინა ყველა თესლი მონიტორი არის ეს. ერთ-ერთი ტოპ მონიტორია იმენა. ეს და ეს უნდა დავითვიო უჭერ.
The human body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
მადლობა რო დონაციის. მაგრამ არ შემიძლია, ანუ მას ხუნი გადატანა არ შემიძლია, მოეფარება სხვა რაღაცებს. მარტო თავისუფალი ადგილი, სადაცაა კამერის დაყენება, იქ შეგიძლია. ძირითადად სუესე მაქვს ხოლმე კამერა და მაგიტო ნოშები, რა ქვია. მაგიტო არ ვშლიყავთ არის ზოგადად ნოშები აქვს. მარცხნივ მაქვს ხოლმე და მანდედან უფრო ნორმალურად ჩანს. მაგრამ ეხლა ამ შემთხვევაში ამ კონკრეტულ ტურნირზე არ შემიძლია მარცხნივ გადატანა. მადლობა დონაციისთვის კიდევ ერთხელ. ეხლა რა მონიტორი მაქვს. ეხლა 260-იანი მაქვს. მაგრამ break-use. სინგაპურში უყვართ კაც counter. Counter სად არ უყვართ რა. რა მთელ ემოციებია. Ja mogę bez pieniędzy gasowego. უგმელს მადლობა შენც ასევე წარმატებები შენ საქმეში რასაც არ უნდა აკეთებ. ოღონდ კარგს მოვმატო. საქმეში არის. მადლობა ძალიან დიდი დონაციებისთვის უგმელს მადლობა. ჩვენიერი მშვენიერი. ბიჭო ანუ შეიძლება ეგრე counter-ს არ თამაშობდე, მაგრამ ტურნირების ყურება ყოველთვის ასწორებს. ბევრი ტურნირები მინახავს ისეთი თამაშების, რასაც არ თამაშობ, მაგრამ ასწორებს ტურნირების ყურება.
What a great opener. Dude, we have a lot of ball knowers up here, but we could have never expected that. What a great way to open the grand final with an overtime. That's the type of stuff that you dream for in a matchup like this.
That was Tanir's graduation right there. When the chips were down, we saw Dom
struggling to get up. You
can see Falcons in the lead running away with this. Things might kind of crumble for the Spirit side, but man, Tanir delivered. He delivered the composure with the aim. And more importantly, he didn't play scared, Maui.
Yes.
When he found little holes, those little opportunities, he struck hard.
That was so impressive from him. First round of overtime for him to find the flank there. And I'm getting a little bit worried, Rich, because when we saw Falcons pressed against Furia, Kerrigan, he blew up the playbook. He had so many different ideas. You know what happened in this overtime? You saw it contract. First round of overtime, spread out default. Second one, mid to B. Third one, guys, let's just all five-man cat, okay? It's getting worse and worse by the round when Spirit are fighting back in the way that they have shown to be capable of.
And that's such a horrible thing to see because they started this game so good. Like we kind of worried that maybe the mid B defense of Kiyosuke and Testis might get tested because they have struggled in playoffs. They have struggled against elite opposition, but you saw them come out the gate swinging, and really Kiyosuke kept up the pace for really the entire game. He definitely has had one of his best playoff performances individually that we've seen so far in this game. Monesi obviously having loads of impact, but Spirit Stars eventually did shine, and they had a load of impact.
The one worry I had, I think all of us had, was the defense. Right? Look at the way Kiyosuke bombs that you're like, that's perfect. That is all you needed. But the T side woes, we saw this early in the tournament for the side of Falcons, especially with Dust as well. And you could see, I agree with you, it felt like they were getting... And this run, that was the donk effect. That's a donk.
მაგარი ხარ და თესლი გვინდი ხარ უნდა გადაწყდეს 7 მაპში რა 7-ვე მაპში უნდა გადაწყდეს მოგებული აი რა ის არის რა ადრე ბესტ ოფ 3 რო იყო და ის მაგარი საშინელება
that is going to go down as an iconic call
when კიდე არა უშვის მაგრამ აი სამი ძალიან ცუდი
sometimes smarter is better you don't need to take the fights.
It is crazy because look, people will look at the score, but they're like, "Oh, Donk, classic game, huge rating, huge kills." No, he started slow, folks. Like he did not come out the gate.
აი ხაი რა მოკლავთ ბიჭო 7 ფეისით არ უთამაშიათ.
But I want to get back to Tanir really quickly because this is the thing we've been talking about all tournament long about getting him activated, making him a third star. He was so good at opening up rounds on the T side, coming cat, and he had so many flanks, so many impact moments where he just was able to push middle.
That's a big stage player. That's the guy that gets better when the lights are brightest. He was going through the motions through a lot of these rounds, trying to just play within the system that has been well
devised. თან აქ სამი მაპის მე უფრო დიდხანს ისვენებენ, ან ნახევარი საათი ისვენებენ რა, სამი მაპი. ან მეოთხე მაპზე რო გადავიდეს ნახევარი საათი ისვენებენ.
Wasn't even his rifling and showed everything on display in this.
Yeah, absolutely. Donk with the AWP out-opping Monesi as well, peeking into his op on the B bombs. That's something you don't really expect to see, but that's what Spirit had to do. That's what Tanir had to do. Just try and elongate the game as long as possible until Donk woke up. And finally, when he did, it looked like the writing was on the wall.
I mean, look, we've talked about these two. Actually, this is one of those rare moments where I looked and I think everybody did pretty much everything they want them to do. I think this was two great teams swinging for the fences, star players showing up in a grand final. But I'll say this, you're talking about graduation. talk about Kisuke then. Remember, this is the guy, chokes in playoffs supposedly, goes missing in big games. What did he just do there? Like,
he played lights out. Let's just call it what it is. He started very strong defensively, being that mid-B defender, fighting in the double doors, helping lock down the B-bomb site. You can just look, he only had 2 rounds in the first half where he didn't get a kill. He was everything you wanted and more. And then when the going got tough to get them into overtime, the dude was banging out some entries. Like, I remember that one round in B tunnels where he just peeks out and kills 2 people on the site. Like, he had the impact you would want. It kind of cooled off in overtime, if we're honest. It wasn't always consistent, but this is improvement.
I agree with Maui there, though, Dust. It's like, look, you know, that's when you need your IGL to come alive and call those rounds, throw in the curveballs.
And that's where the polish was so much more on display for Spirit. Again, just going back to the flash assist in this one, if you took the amount of flash assists per round Spirit had in this, they have 50% more than Vitality's last year in that map. That map was crazy in terms of the amount of times they're just setting their players up. That's what Falcons don't have right now. It is up to Kyosuke and Nico and m0NESY to try to just deliver them frags because the system is just unfortunately not there. They're still a little rough around the edges on Falcons.
I mean, if you look at just the opening duels being won by m0NESY and Kyosuke, that was 9-0 for just the 2 stars, right, for the Falcons team. For the Falcons team. And you're wondering with stats like that, you should be winning the game. But I 100% agree with you. I think this is where you can see how much time has been put up with this particular Spirit team. And of course, under Starfix coaching as well, so to speak.
36?
That's unreal.
That's ridiculous.
That's like record-setting pace right there. Look, we've always talked about how...
Nico bash.
You give it to him, all right? Look, but no, this is the biggest thing that we've been talking about time and time and time again. I hate beating a dead horse, but it's just true. Spirit has always been sensational in their death ball approach to Counter-Strike because they just have so many weapons, particularly Donk being the tip of that spear. But the way that they have honed it with the support utility, the fact that Tanir's coming online to trade frag. Hell, there was rounds where Tanir was running up cat first on CT side and T side finding openings. It allows Donk to have a little bit more support, not have to always be the guy, because he had a cold start. He needed some other guys to rally. And when they did, he eventually stepped up too.
And I would just want to touch upon one thing which, which I saw yesterday as well against Mouse. On the T side, what Spirit were doing with a simple Counter-Strike, right? They have a spawn for long, just rushing out long, death balling into Mouse. We saw the same on the B-bomb with the B spawns as well. What has started out on this particular map against Falcons, they were a little bit more defaulty. They're giving a little bit more respect. But once they're like 0-5 down, they're like, screw it, we're just going to rush out long. That's the first round they won, by the way, just rushing out long, death bottling out, getting the kills. But I love what I saw from Magics. I love how he was able to try different approaches, no matter how much the pressure was on. And I feel for Magics, that's him also really maturing as an IGL. And when you go against someone like Carrigan, you need to mature up real fast.
It is excellent to see Magics display a wealth of options there on their T side. I mean, we know Carrigan to be the legendary IGL, and yeah, maybe in 3 months' time, he's going to catch up. But in some ways, actually, it did seem like Magic's, the way he called and brought him back into the half, looked more experienced, or at least he knew what tools he had to work with.
Let's be clear, Spirit's bulldozed their way to this point so far. They only dropped 1 map throughout the group stage. That was an overtime loss on overpass to a solid team. Now they finally got tested to have to be resilient, to have to keep their composure after a cold start. When you got Kyosuke and m0NESY flying out the gates, some of the hottest stars in the game, running you down on your own map pick, a map that you've defeated so many great teams on with this lineup, to see them be able to sit back and let the game come to them and eventually figure it out, that's a nice trait to have.
Definitely, and the good news is we've got Mirage to come. I mean, it's one of those maps where I've seen Spirits down the years, you know, just run around making headshots and such. Carrigan teams, of course, they love a bit of Mirage. Nico in Connector, it's all iconic, it's all coming together.
It is all coming together, but for me, when it comes to Falcons, I mean, we were kind of expecting them to go for this map. Here's a worrying thing. Of course, they're going to start on the T side. Of course, they're going to be comfortable. Switching over to the CT side later on, Tessus has had a bit of a nightmare on A. Remember, he's not had too many reps, maybe 3 or 4 reps thus far against lower tier opposition as one as CT side. And that, for me, is the reason why Spirit could get that 2-1.
I also am really worried about the fact that for Falcons, so many of their plays with Carrigan have been just set pieces. I think that he hasn't quite developed the whole mid-round bag, explored all of the default options that he has with the team. Pretty sure through the group stage thus far, about 30+% of his plays are just set calls out of spawn. And to me, that's a weakness. Spirit are going to eat that up if you're just going to be going for just calls out of spawn, not working through the whole map, and letting the mid-round god operate.
I agree with you, Mally. I do think they have been a little bit reliant on just like the quick 4-1, 3-2 splits or set pieces. Obviously, you have a lot of stars that pack a punch in those entry positions. The fact that m0NESY's an entry opera is just an X factor other teams don't have, and so you can play that speed, but I saw inklings, Bally. I did see, them try some different, mid variations. They're, using Nico to solo pressure in extremity or even double up with Testis and do some cool things. So I saw some signs, but they need to develop that and they need to do it quickly because they're already, a mat back and this is their, most confident pick.
The one silver lining here for Falcons is Kyosuke, he's had his playoff woes. Against Furia, he delivered, but there was always a question mark, and he still continued that form. Against Magic yesterday, easy opposition, that's totally fair. Dust 2, he did his job, right? He looked good. And one thing we're going to be seeing on his T side, keep an eye on this. Karrigan's going to be the one running on into its connector. He's going to be running it with his back turned, and it's going to be Kyosuke looking to go for the trade. He is being the sacrificial lamb just to make the stars shine. So he's got to put in the work here.
What I've also loved, though, about Spirit is the contingency options, that even if the mid-control from Falcons proves a little too fierce, if Karrigan and Kyosuke prove too powerful of a duo, they've shown that they can come up with answers. The way that Tanir has played towards his own A bomb site lately has been a standout improvement, a marked one in showing the development of their defense. He'll push into ramp by himself. And if it's just Testis, I like Testis. He's my favorite Falcon. But Tanir has been on a run lately, so they have to be both ready for those 1v1 duels if the time comes.
Yeah, but he's not going to be alone. Doc's going to be there with him as an A connector player and is going to be such a pivotal piece in this game yet again as a destroyer. And I think for me, if I'm Falcons, I want to target that B-bomb side. That's where Magic and Zontics are playing together. That's, I think, is going to be the weaker point. And, throw some set pieces at B. At least put some pressure there early. That way you can temper them, and then you can kind of, open up the playbook once you oppose B as a threat. But you're right. I mean, Spirit is just so explosive on this map, so sharp with these new utilities. And really, for me, it is just Tanir coming into his own as a guy who can play that A side both ways, by the way, and also just be a great trade fragger and executes. Both of these teams have so much opening power laid out across their entire roster, and this is a map that just promotes a slugfest.
And let's talk about this. You've got the most goated coach on the one side and a new guy with fresh ideas coming in on the other.
Sotfik right now sitting behind Spirit. I think that there are a handful of people out here that might be rooting for Falcons. I have a wild card one that might be coming to the table. It might be Holly because he's looking at his potential replacement right there. The market improvement in the way Spirit is carrying out some of their offenses when Sotfik is behind him, the way he's helping out people like Zontix, it has shown that it is paying off and it's making Spirit into a world-class contender.
I also want to add, though, Zonic in a different kind of hot seat, right? Holly might be in that chair in the corner of the hotel room watching Sonic is right there on the stage, and he knows Karrigan, he can get the keys to the city. He can take over this whole team. Now, if they start winning, Zonic's success and Karrigan's success together might just keep him in the job.
I think I like what Falcons have done so far with Karrigan at the helm. I think we've seen some positive signs, but it's about pulling them out at just the right time, considering the fact that, as we noted on Dust 2, we didn't see the same, variety of openers that we had seen from them in the group stage. Barrage, they did show the capacity to do it, but we need to see it now when you're a map down. This is supposed to be your most confident pick, and you're up against a Spirit team who plays Mirage to a high level as well. So this is going to be another battle of the stars, in my opinion. I think Munacy, if he can stay on the form that we saw on Dust 2, that's going to be pivotal because he's such a dynamic defensive opper, but he's also a can opener on sites that just other teams don't have in the op role.
I'm just saying, for Falcons right now, just win the pistol round, right? Convert the following rounds, put that AWP in the hands of Ilya, and watch him just blow
keep it simple here, but I am intrigued to see what happens. You saw big puddle there from Falcons, right? Karrigan, Zonic, all in there. All these ideas, they've come out all smart. What are they going to do differently? Are they going to make adjustments? Remember, we don't know what the Karrigan system on Falcons even looks like yet.
No, it's one that is constantly in development, one that you would hope he would actually figure out what's been working, what hasn't been. But just the way that Spirit has been tackling their games, it feels like they're coming in with a little bit more preparation. They're not a team to me now that's just saying we're going to run our own game into the ground. They're a team that is flashing all of the opponents off of all their common angles. I feel like they're actually getting into the demos in a way that I haven't seen in the past. And so if this is a fledgling state Falcon that's trying to finally take flight, I feel like this is a Spirit team that's just trying to crush them in the nest.
And also, you got to remember, like Mirage, if you look at it, mean, they've only played it once so far at this event, right? Against Furia, it was a close affair. If you look back at Rio, initially they were getting completely curb stomped by a multitude of teams, of losing to Red Canids, even Falcons earlier. But then it's turned it around. G2, Mouse, Falcons, single-digit rounds for them. So even though this is the pick coming in for Falcons, I think Spirit would be the favorite to still take the map here.
And the worry is Spirit get out ahead with that 2-0. You've got to do that run back, that thing we see so rarely in Counter-Strike history. Just you have to wonder, do Falcons have the chops?
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing, right? Because when Kerrigan got interviewed on the stage by Bangs, he was very, honest about things that, the system isn't totally fleshed out yet. We don't have too many design things. Yes, there are some set strats in the playbook, but when it comes to the actual mid-rounding, some of this stuff's going to come on the fly. Some of this stuff is going to have to just be pure intuition in the heat of the moment when you have milliseconds to figure out what is the right move to make and how should I make it. And I do think that Kerrigan is the perfect guy to wrangle stars. He is known for his mid-round calling chops. We've seen it throughout this tournament, maybe not on Dust 2 as much as we wanted to on T side, but there were indeed signs of it. And now he's going up against an inexperienced in-game leader in Magic's on a big stage for a trophy. Those are hard to come by this year when Vitality's out there. Make the most of it here.
I'm also curious, because obviously we're talking about the T side. That was a struggle there on Dust 2. They're going to be starting the T side here as well again. But once the going gets tough on the CD side, Nico, the main voice on that CD side. We haven't really spoken about it much, right? He's been having a bit of a quiet tournament thus far.
Yeah, I'm trying not to recycle the same old narrative, but it's a final. It's Nico.
Exactly. So for him, he has always been that voice, even when Kixon was calling. And right now, it does seem like Kerrigan is still giving him a lot of, especially with the position is playing right there. So the questions will be asked when the going gets tough. Is it going to be kind of taking the reins away from Nico, or is Nico still going to be continuing what he's been doing so far?
What I am more curious about is actually just to see if Kyosuke can continue to perform as he did on map 1, because I think that the story almost parallels what Kerrigan did when he joined that Mouse lineup, because he got to work with a young ROPS player that was just off of his first top 19 performance back in 2018, and he molded him. He made him so much better, reduced the amount of errors, made him a more impactful player, and that's what I'm starting to see already in one tournament with Kyosuke as his right-hand man.
This is the best playoff performance we've seen out of Kyosuke so far, and he's been in such a critical role with Nico, playing that B rotator position to kind of crossfire with Nico on the A connector. That's the big thing that I feel like Falcons have to do here defensively, is they have to disrupt Spirit. Don't let them implement their game plan. Don't let them run through their playbook. Don't let them set up that utility. Get in their face. And I think that they have the appropriate roster to do it when you think of guys like Nico and Kyosuke who want to go forward. When you think of the fact that Munacy is the most aggressive pure operator in the game, and he's so dynamic, he's so fluid, how he moves around the map, where he picks his starting locations, where he moves to after he gets that opening pick. You never know where the flash is going to be, and he is definitely on form right now.
I'm looking at that Furia loss they had on Mirage, 13-9, pretty convincing overall. And if you're looking at Tessus, he's going to be looking at Nico. It's going to look left, Nico is going to look behind him, and Munacy playing towards Ticket or something. So, guys, help me out here, So hopefully they manage to fix whatever issues they had last time they played, because there were some issues on that A side.
That's actually just been a perennial problem with Nico as a con player. It feels like as so many new players will join up with their A anchor and push towards ramp, push towards palace. Nico just makes his bed at con, at jungle. He doesn't always support his guy as much as you would want him to, and that leaves Tessus on so much of an island. And if you're Tessus, the last thing you want to do in this kind of game is just jump spot ticket booth for the entire round. You want to get into the fray, feel like it's viable to play under palace so that you can form a crossfire with Nico. So if Nico just lets him out on an island, lets him out to dry, then unfortunately I think it's just going to be a completely porous site on A.
Look, I know he doesn't have the reps yet, but I actually like that Kerrigan made this move. He was a B anchor, obviously, on phase as well. He took the crappy CT position that you don't want. He put Tessus on A, the more favorable anchor role. And throughout this tournament, I have seen Tessus make some good moves, make some A ramp pushes, getting inside palace, being disruptive. He is a more aggressive natured guy. So while I think you're correct about maybe the support system still needs to be there between him and Nico, I do think I've seen some good things. We'll see if it can happen here.
And we're about to find out, because now we can start this map. It's Mirage, and it is time.
Fingers crossed you've had time to catch your breath, Astana. Dust 2 had all the makings of an electric grand finals, and now we head on over to Mirage Mo, where, lo and behold, fingers crossed, we get more and more headshots.
Yeah, I mean, if we put it bluntly, last map, Falcons, it was a weird game because we had a slow OT of calling out of Kerrigan. We had a good start from Honesty, but a bad finish. We had a Nico that wasn't in full form, and they had a 6-0 start. So there are things that are left on the table. Spirit could punish here and make it a 2-0. If they do, we might not have a series. Falcons must respond.
Follow. აუ დამასტრო და არა და თქმა მინდოდა მეთქი ბოლო მე-400-ზე ლაიქზე 15 სანტიმეტრი ეხლა ვეთქო. რა unlucky არ გაგიმართლაც ბოლო.
The all-elusive trophy.
იყავით მე-400.
For an organization that has tasted victory, trying to get back to the top of that mountain. And right now, it's Falcons setting their eyes on this A site. Map 2 underway. And as they cross over towards this bench, oh, it's a little labored. Donk actually not able to catch his headshot. Tanir tries to go in for a little more, and that is what opens the door for Falcons to answer back. 3v3, you know you've got these duels queued up. And so Nico's got one as well. These 3 players alive for Falcons have each established a kill themselves.
These are floating. They want to fight, and Nico will find it.
That should be the one that seals it up. Doesn't have
a way in and a way to reclaim CT as well. So he'll walk away from this. Another pistol round start for Falcons.
Talked about the strong start on Dust too, the 4-0 kickoff, the 5-1 score that was.
And listen, even if you don't close the game, at least you have the strong start. You'll always take that. So it's kind of about continuing with those wins they had early on. And you know, the weird part was the fact that calling for Falcons, we talked about with Spirit, they oversimplified to just get back in the groove in the beginning. Well, Falcons oversimplified as the game got deeper, and that's not something you normally see with Kerrigan's calling. So there might have been a little bit of faith lost in what was happening, and if things were getting too difficult, even though they staged a full comeback. It's a quizzical moment, honestly.
There's a world where maybe even Kerrigan kind of had too much self-doubt, thought maybe he didn't have his finger on the pulse of the game.
You don't want to put too much into it because it's overtime versus the team who is more ready, has more. Falcons come in with 8 days of preparation. So the team that goes into overtime, who's been together practicing, playing tournaments, obviously expect them to shine there.
Go MP9s to the top. 4 SMGs in this round for Spirit. Trying to get this force play underway, they'll take that fast clash to top mid, looking to usurp Falcon's start. Yeah, Kerrigan, I don't think he believes it. He knows somebody's in there. Donk dies for those efforts. But at the same time, Zontix robs one away with his MP9. Still there's movement here from Spirit. Take that look towards ramp. He just goes to the other side of it.
Yeah, some blood has been spilled on this round, so Falcons will have to reassess the situation.
Jiro's got an open line.
This would be one hell of a flick.
No smoke either here for Falcons. That scout's going to be a looming threat. Excuse me. There it goes.
Just the right piece of util to now push the pressure onto Magic. In contrast,
no splash.
Separates the first one from the rest of the pack, but Nico's trade's good. Remember, Zontix was low from this earlier over on that A site, and he is nowhere to be found. Shiro has had a couple of chances to hit some scout shots. A little bit of damage, just a bit of damage could really now just let him bank on Zontix being able to come through with impact, so he'll give a little space back over.
Nico's trying to keep an eye up on this flank, but it doesn't necessarily mean he can watch it the whole time.
Honestly, leans far back.
He's playing an interesting spot where, you know, Van might get cleared and no one's there.
Zontix is looking for Nico, but he's just hoping to go unnoticed. It's going to take a hard clear from above him. Nico actually pushing off from beyond that wall.
He actually didn't see
that. That is just beautiful timing, isn't it?
It falls on
the scout to pull this off. And remember, no kit at 10 seconds. This round's a foregone conclusion. It's just about the cost, and that part is effective. Shiro gonna topple Nico, but it was Nico to reopen this round with a kill on Catwalk, the push into the B side, and honestly make sure that he just gives him something to think about. Make sure that the next one is nothing but pistols for Spirit.
Yeah, it's a lovely start for sure for Nico. Good trades in a 3v3 with mid control, and you've got all the great guns. Sounds like a decent situation to be in, except there was still a clamp down on mid. There was still Magics on Cat. They decide also not to go in with a flash to try to take over B-site control. So there was a risk of him getting a multi-frag from that up-close position. Falcons survive it. We've got a little bit of utility coming into this round. A couple of upgraded pistols, but not much else.
Makes sense knowing how low Falcons were when they closed out last round. Try to keep this game cost-effective. Not wasting a moment now. Kyosuke smoked off from the connector play, just making sure that what he can see is clear for the taking. Sometimes a dangerous game to go up into window with a better weapon than a pistol that could be pressed into you. Maybe they really think there's no threat in this. But a 5-7 Desert Eagle shot. All of a sudden, Spirit could find themselves with hands on this AK. Kyosuke at least dropping one, but yes, gets overwhelmed. Look how perfect this is, and look who you give it to.
It's kind of scary. You give Donk his weapon.
He's playing with Kevlar.
Oh
God, this round's starting to fall apart. Donk is just frothing at the thought to swing out wide with this rifle, but it does get put back down.
They still have to go get it from Cat. The bomb is not in a great spot. It was spotted as well. They can go ahead and take over a site control, but there are bigger fish to fry at the moment here for Falcons. I don't even care that Spirit have pistols. It's Falcons who are the ones that are scared. They don't know where these players are flanking, and they don't know if it's better to go B, where the bomb is leaning to, or to jump off Cat and make it towards A, where there's still one more guy potentially.
We'll find out what they think. Step 1, grab that bomb. Step 2, make your decision and make it now. 5-7 flank activates. That's going to confirm. Shiro's going to have his beautiful first shot. It's a little bit later. He takes further damage. Oh, he's going to jump. No, takes it over. The nade doesn't find him, but he's got to try to find a chance to plant. 6 seconds. Another peek. Just the minimal bit of cover, and you could never ask for that to go. This plan.
Tanir trying to intercept that with the HE was insane. He was right that the clear had to happen with the amount of time left on the clock, but that was almost certainly getting planted default, and Nico would have 100% died. Either way, he juggled his presence well and made him impossible to sort of, you know, it only ends up being 1 kill. This is more of a team effort, and just more good stuff out of Spirit. Last round was also very competitive, so a minimal investment and a round win because of it.
One Galil for Kyosuke. Meant to be the star. Shut down with nothing. Thanks to Zontics.
Yeah, that helped a little
bit. Damage racked up, but Team Spirit looking very tenacious. In terms of taking this top middle fight, we saw it with the MP9, MP7. Force buy in round 2 they tried to get going. Just looking to press into Falcons. This time, the distance with that M4, and we get a tied game only 4 rounds into this.
Last time they played up against Falcons on this map, they crushed them. And they have a very strong rug, but that goes both ways, and that's why this veto is actually really interesting. And fun. We've got the brawly maps up front.
And we have no overpass, and we have no inferno.
Let's do this every day.
Gonna try to flush this bomb into the B site for some money. Spirit gonna know that nade hit hard. We see the scramble already coming through. Falcons know that they've got to just go with tempo. And that's gonna get denied. Money not made for Falcons, and extra cash stuck in Magix's pockets. Block of Nico dead, you'll find nothing. Rock solid out of Magix. Falcons losing a lead, 3-2 Spirit early on the CT side.
A total bounce back and a little bit of frustration here for Falcons. Now I have no doubt, just because they lost 1 map in a best-of-5 grand final, that there's lots of energy left over. This T side is not even close to finish. There won't be an op in play here on round 6. And honestly, utility is not that heavy.
Falcons trying to play with electricity, and Donk's regained vision. He's gonna blindside Nico, collect Tess's head, and this one is getting shredded. Total stoppage on that 1v5 attempt for Monacy, 2 kills in his lead. But that is not what Falcons had visualized when they came running up that ramp.
Damn, that is an insanely scrimmy call to make. There's no molly under Balk, obviously. This entire thing's running. There's just lamp flashing out of ramp. And because Donk is sitting there, he's happy. He's got a perfect line to get his 2 kills. Every round's played like that, and Spirit, they're going to be smiling from ear to ear.
Made
so much more comfortable for Donk in the fact that he wasn't blind once he got his duels, right? There was a moment there where he ate one. For a second, maybe you could have closed that gap while he's blind. This guy's got his vision back. The chances of that A commitment actually sticking disappear, and you see it.
think they came into that round with no mollies to work with, expecting the A site to be understaffed.
Wrong. Some Desert Eagles across the field for Falcons. Kyosuke is going to collect Donk's head. That's a great first kill to find as far as Falcons are concerned. Unlike back on Dust 2, you don't get the 0-6 Donk start. Sure, 6 deaths again, but he is being a part of these moments, and you can see his confidence brimming over in a round like this where he just goes for the underpass plays.
Still the single scariest thing on Mirage.
The scariest thing about Mirage is the thought of them taking it out of the map pool.
They'll never do that.
Engineer's going to collect here as these Desert Eagles leave a lot to be desired. Spirit looking comfortable for a 4-rifle save. They would love to get their hands on this, right? Again, odds of just racking up costs versus Spirit increase significantly now that Kyosuke was meant to have grabbed that AK. He just walks right over it.
Okay, and nobody wants it. That's totally fine.
Sure.
That's interesting.
He'll leave it down there at the bottom of middle. And the Desert Eagle of Kyosuke gets nothing for his efforts. That walk around through the jungle. It's all shut down yet again. 4 players up for Spirit looking real comfortable here on Mirage.
Well, that is strange because they know exactly where Donk died. And I don't think that they would have expected that gun to be thrown away. So we go into another buy. Now the last round, it's not like they threw m0NESY with an up, everybody with full utility, and said, let's go up A ramp. They came in with AKs. They had a smoke, a couple of flashes, and they said, we need to try to do something light, because if you do a default, we'll get outdone by the utility. We see all the Molotovs for the team that has so much money. But now on a round like this, we're seeing the m0NESY op come into play. I'm not saying it needs to be more complicated, but I'm expecting it to be more drawn out.
It'll be a real shocker to see Falcons not try to get away from that last round.
Kerrigan's known for his defaults. And on very little days of prep, at least they've got Mirage.
Yeah, but like you mentioned, the 13-4 beating that went down the last time these teams faced in Spirit's favor.
Didn't see it, though.
True.
He didn't see it.
What about everybody else?
They didn't tell him about it.
Keep the old man's blinders on.
We'll see if this is going to be a call-in ambulance, but not for me moment for the Falcons.
Just moved his crosshair off that. This round, and now Shiro's not going to know there's a player tucked in close right.
He's not thinking about that at all. He'd be way farther back.
We'll see what Nico can do about it.
Nico.
Catching Shiro by surprise. Oh, and a back turn.
Oh, no scope.
That's a great little Hail Mary moment for Shiro. Under pressure to at least reclaim something. He does so. But Bomb is also spotted as Kyosuke collects that trade frag. And they're not worried about the bomb site yet. They're more concerned about somebody climbing up from middle. And that is not the case. Falcons have m0NESY over there, but not close enough to help these players on the site.
They need to stay fully focused in this spot, because the teams are going to just look for any little advantage they can get. It's late in the round. Someone could peek from any of these 3 choke points.
Oh, Donk comes through.
And they do.
Yeah, Magix takes the first one off of Ticket. m0NESY to be preoccupied with Catwalk. And on top of that, well, it's going to be difficult for him to ever emerge out through Connector, especially as the bomb's 2 seconds from being defused already. Down goes the op. Down goes Falcons as Spirit roll to a 6-2 lead.
Yeah, this is looking a little too easy for Spirit. After what we saw in Dust 2, we were left impressed by what Falcons could do because we had no idea if they'd be able to stand up to the challenge. And it looked like they passed the test, even if they lose in overtime. The fact that it was a comeback after dropping a lead. But we're not seeing a convincing T side.
What we're watching as Falcons try to scramble back into this first half. The guns are at least flowing for them, and they will try to send them back towards middle once more. Zontix wasn't given the space to go into that mid-peak where he has netted multi-frags before. But Donk being burned by that molly is going to take attention. You see that spray through from Kerrigan.
Oh my goodness, that clear.
Nothing is an invitation. He says, you want to fight? Come and get it.
Damn, now that's a crossfire for the ages.
მაგარკლეობებს აკეთებენ ძმებო დაენდ. ესენი აჭრილები თუ არიან დამძრეული აქვს ამათ აღარაფერი მოაბრუნებს უკვე всё.
Yeah, they're left gobsmacked here. They just wanted to go for some
ესე
fights
თუ უნდა
here
ეთამაშოთ
inside
გაეშოთ
the middle.
ფურია
Maybe
ფინალში
separate
და
a
დედა რომ
1v1.
მოიყვანოს.
No, Donk was ready to fight behind a Molotov. They were hoping to isolate Zontix on Cat. Instead, they got it from both ends. And they weren't into it. Nico will have a lot of time to think here up in Palace because there's no chance that he can win this round.
Falconebis. ეს Falconebis პიკი არ არის მირაჟი? თუ
And
დასტი
we
გაპიკეს
continue
იმათმა.
with more simple ideas. Now, we don't really see what that round could have
მაგაპიკა?
flourished
ხო,
into
დასტი?
if some trades went
მირაჟი.
down and we
Ancient-ია
became a
ამის
3v3.
მერე, გასაგებია,
And maybe that's what
მეოთხიანი.
Kerrigan's
Okay.
looking for, a chance to get creative with a team,
კიდე მე
because in the
რამე
mid-round, it really comes down to how smart your individuals are. But from a setup perspective, Spirit dropped a nade on Kerrigan as that default took place.
Ancient-ში კაი შანსი აქვს, მაგრამ რავი ეს
utility that Falcons were going for. And while Falcons are still 4/5 of the same team, they come in with a guy who's taking over all the ideas. There will be growing pains.
აუ აქ დიდია საპრიზო, მე მგონი ნახევარ მილიონზე მეტი.
We saw growing pains out of the gate for Falcons here in Astana. We thought maybe they had a chance to shake them off, but maybe it's not just that linear improvement that Falcons were hoping to tap into come this grand finals. Five maps of action in this best of five. Right now, this second one feeling much more flat than Dust 2 did. Spirit showing that their evolutions are not to be toyed with. And that this map pick from Falcons
what is that?
can still be taken over at a moment's notice. When Donk decides to do what he wants, it will cost Falcons players every step of the way. They go down into the 4v5. They are at least able to reclaim that AK. Nico never really had a chance. As Donk, unorthodox peek into underpass, catches him entirely off guard. So now it's Kyosuke's turn with the rifle to try to make something happen. Tess over towards this B site. It's got the door frame to keep him protected. He doesn't want a piece of Magix by the looks of it. We go to 50 seconds, and that bomb looking to join forces, looking to group back up alongside the rifle. There's a singular flashbang. We saw them win rounds with less on Dust 2. Here it comes. A Hail Mary moment as they try to fly down through this B-site. And it is Magix to lock it in. Is also Kerrigan separated from the bomb. They've at least got that map money made.
Why don't we call this a must
მე ვიყო ნაბოზარი მან თუ რეაქცია მოასწრო შენ მე ვიყო ნაბოზარი
here for Modesty, but great positions. It's near instant execution.
This guy is tapping into some real potential tonight. Modesty's 29 health, looks to time it. Shiro's near on the chase. A 1v1 now as Modesty brings him back to that site. There is no hesitation, no missed opportunity at the hands of Tanir.
They're ice cold in all these moments. They've got perfect confidence. They've already achieved their quota. They got 8 on the CT side. We know how Falcons are going to be happy to switch over.
რა პრაისა იყო ბიჭო გეკონდება ის მყავდეს თო მსოფლიოში საუკეთესო რეაქცია ჩეჩე ცოტა ანუ გასაგებია რომ თავდაჯერებლობა გააქვს თესლია ძმაო კაც უნდა ქონდეს თავდაჯერებლობა ბაზარი არა ყველას აქვს თავდაჯერებლობა რაღაც ეგ ბიჭო თავდაჯერებლობა კი ეგ არის გამოყლება უკვე გაიგე ანუ ეგ თავდაჯერებლები ეგ თავდაჯერებლები არ ხარ უკვე გამოყლევებული ხარ მან დროს გები 52 წლის კაცი და გონია რომ რეაქციაში აჯობა ფილმეს თან რაღაცა ყალე კუთხეს რო ეჭერა ავი პერო ქონდეს კიდე მესმის მაგრამ კალაში ჩეჩემა
Piece of the puzzle. And if his maturation is complete, because we've also seen his potential, we understand why Spirit took a chance on him.
We've seen that with multiple new pieces added to this Team Spirit roster. Sway didn't work, gets replaced. Tenier looking shaky as well for as long as it did.
ეს
And we
ესაა
wonder
და
whether
ნიკოს
it would
ფიქიოს
be a
უკაზე მეტი
player
ქილი
that
კი
gets the
აქ
boot
თითქმის.
or whether we get a change up in, say, the coaches.
მე რას გიფეილებს, მაგრამ ისეთი კუთხე აიღო, რავი, ჩემი.
Starting to feel like too much for
მან
Falcons.
დაჟე დონკა რო დააყენო, ვერ მოკლავს კაცს. ანუ შანსი არა. რეაქცია არ გეყოფა, შეუძლებელია ისეთი რეაქციაზე დადგარო.
Try again. They'll throw somebody through that window, and Donk has been here every time.
He's been watching this. Yeah, it's an early window timing.
იმის კალაშა რო აიღოთ არა ახვარია.
Anywhere else on the map.
ვაიდა იმათ პისტოლეტები აქვთ და არა აიღონ
Just
კალაშა.
hoping he's not looking.
თან იმის წყებს დახარჯავს, მე იმას აიღებს. ჭკვიანი ეს ახვარი. და ასევე. მორჩა რაუნდი.
Kerrigan tries to draw everybody back to join forces. They're going to go numbers strong. The last time they hit, it did look good.
მაგინდა ახლა ფინალში მაინც გავიდრეთ, მაგრამ კარი განასახიერებლად მეტი
You
რა
see the structure completely vanish in favor of one simple idea. You start to think, do they have outs? They do have this lurk at the top of middle. Yeah, and Kerrigan looks to make this a little bit more interesting.
Players added to it, but it feels like Spirit's still getting wind of what's going on. We see that lean from Donk through the marketplace. You would hope that Falcons...
They won't pull a single rotation.
Donk does second guess it just as the cross comes through, but Magix has been rock solid. He's got that support from Zontix. Monacy tagged down to 7. Now he just wants to leave, but it's already Tesses committed to this. And Monacy's departure will be chased down. And if he dies after time, this would be an extra bit of disaster.
Oh, they're running for him.
Running for the hills.
From everywhere.
6 seconds to survive. Magix will try to sprint him down. It's going to be close. 2 left.
Just don't miss.
And he'll
Why, sad
will at least get his off, but that is the slimmest of silver linings. As they move into this last round of their attack.
Yeah, that's literally it. He'll keep it for one more chance, but we need to see the impact, man. Monacy at the beginning of Dust 2, he was really at the front of the pack, getting lots of kills. CT side was going his way, and his scoreline stayed good the whole time, but the impact started to miss a little bit. Shots were less consistent.
Shiro вообще კაცი მოკლა 9 კილი როგორ აქვს вообще არ მინახავს Shiro-ს კილი რაღაცა ჩუმად არის.
Kerrigan was doing a great job on the CT side of putting him in a new spot every single CT round. So we credited him for getting those kills. There is that impact.
That's what happens with the op not denied. 5v4 to Falcons.
აუ კარიგანა რა გინდათ მომოჩავფიცებ ანუ პატარა ნაბოძარი ჩიხვახვები რომ მიდიან ხო იცი იმასთან მე სხვა ეძახთან და რო უყეფენ იმენა ეგრი არის ის კარიგანა იმენა დაუყეფა და გაიქცა რა გინდა შედედა ვის ეჯახები ადი გაეცალე
window hold and within that movement as we see Shiro double back towards Ticket, it's going to be Tenier top stairs.
The op slow.
Blindsides one. Magix on that secondary op has picked a player off of the B side, so you've got an op on retake. 2 of the 3 remaining playing with snipers, and Monacy's going to know this.
Now they're going to give him the middle of the site.
Monika იგებს შენზე მოვასწავარ იგებ კაი პოზიცია და
which is something very nice for this post plant, but Monacy will have to be the star of the show.
He goes over top from Ticket. We've got smoke grenades to cover that bomb, and Magix hangs on to the angle that now pushes Kyosuke into a 1 versus 3 clutch. We'll see if they can figure this out, whether he can catch them off guard, maybe line up some bodies, but on top of the utility, it's made all the more difficult, and it seems to know, like they have him pinned in with him revealing himself to the Magix frag. That bomb's got 10 seconds left and no defuse just yet. Shiro trying to find him. He's got to go for the peak. 6 on the clock. It is a pistol.
Bravo.
One for the road is the 3rd for Falcons. Kyosuke draws them into him and will give
That was not an easy situation to distill a heroic effort there and actually one that results in the round winning. That's huge for Falcons and a chance for them actually on CT side. Massive amount of leverage found with this. We try to underscore Kyosuke's talents, but as he's joined the team, the results, they've been consistent, but they haven't been resulting in actual tournament wins at stages in front of crowds like this. But so far this playoffs, He's definitely become the player that people expected him to be.
ტიპი არ გახსნილა ჯერ თუ რატო არის ესე ჩაშავებული ანუ უნდა გავხსნათ ეგ ტიპი მე რამდენიმე ყურების მერე გაიხსნება ეგ ტიპი
Like there is generational talent in there. You know, it's another level.
Nice, Maxime!
Challenge-ია ხო? Რაღაც challenge უნდა გავაკე ვერ გაიხსნე.
You do love to hear that again. Keeping
hope alive. 500 likes-ი ავიდეთ და არხი გამოვიწერეთ.
And suddenly the crowd wants Falcons.
Gar, სუვენირი თუა შეიძლება მეტიც უჭირავს.
Spirit are going to get a plan. Feeling like a retake needed.
Kerrigan does have the defuse kit for it. Dragolori megone. Dragolori megone shirosa. ეს მომწონს ეს smoke-ის timing-ები. ნიჭი რა უეჭელი მოსაგებია მე pick up ზე რატო არავინ არ არის თო?
5v4 for Kerrigan. I said they get the play, but Kerrigan stopped this.
ერთიც კარიგან. ერთიც დოკა ბიჭო. არ გამოუყავდე ჩიხვა ხომ უკბინა ფეხზე.
That kid is dangerously close for the defuse.
I wish you could pick that up and throw it away.
Nico gets a kill. Another one picked up. That's inside of the apartments. So suddenly Tanir is eventually going to have to deal with that wrap through apps. Nico soon to into the back of these three. All of a sudden, Falcons.
კარგებისა, ბრავო. კიტი გვაქვს. ბრავო. Come back.
Yeah, I had to double check that.
Აი თამაში გვინდა დავაი ძმებო, და მოუყენთ ერთმანეთს მიდი ჩვენ გვასიამოვნეთ.
They put themselves in an actual interesting spot.
ამათი ფოტოშოპის სკილები მოუთხანდა. აუ რა გაუსწორდა კარიგანას უახედა ტაბდა დონკა მოკალიო.
Some of these situations. He can actually just straight up outduel him if there's no distractions.
Used to be a world where we talked about Nico as Donk's final boss.
Yeah, his history with Donk is excellent too in their head-to-head. Things haven't really changed on that front. The only question is Nico's form overall. There is no question about Kyosuke's form overall. He was a heavy impact player back on Dust too.
Falcons. Falcons
may be in business.
There's a will, there is a way. And we all know Kerrigan refuses to concede. It's about the rifles around him to prop up the chances. And if Kerrigan wants this to actually happen, well, he's going to have his hands busy in a moment as well. That Galil in Magic's hands leads this walk up towards the arms. Kerrigan peeks in on purple. Let it rip. We get this to your MP7 rebuttal. Jumps down into the site, gets a second. Mods off the cat play. In that moment, make sure. A 9-5 game.
Falcons didn't have enough to make that first half interesting. They just didn't have the depth. They didn't have the trading. All of Spirit's HEs kind of told the whole story. If you just watched those, you saw that Spirit were in the right place for every situation. But now that Spirit go over to the T side, obviously Kerrigan could look like he didn't have enough for the team on the attack. But now it's Magic's another test for him, another T side to have to close out on. This game is not over.
The kind of damning first half that will have you pounding your desk if you get a misstep versus a buy like this from Spirit. Donk's not going to play in secrecy. He lets you know what he's up to. Desert Eagle on the other side of that B apartment smoke. Knowing the value, though, of even 1 or 2 kills in a round like this, Team Spirit will take their time.
Let's go, Spirit!
To play their game. Maybe just kind of tabulating what Falcons are up to.
Opa.
Nico,
Miraji, ჩვენი ყოფილა ძვებო აქამდე სად იყავ? Čāti. Aba.
The second victim. Tanir has 4 HP, 2 kills already, and Monasi dinked to 44 health.
How is he hunting him down? He's got knife in the smoke. So get out of my
window. პირველი ბაი რაუნდი ნახოთ რა მოხდება.
Extra money made. That'll make up for Kyosuke and Nico's deaths. There are rifles out here on the field for Shiro to try to grab, but he wants a headshot more than anything, and he will be denied by that one. Tessas making sure majority survives the
Bicho, რანაირი ტიპია ეს ნიკო ციმენა და
there from Monasi as he looks
over. შეხედავ იმენა ჩაჯემული სახია. ხანდახან თუ ისი არ გააკეთა, მანამდე არ არის ხოძე.
It sort of feels like it's about surviving.
სუკონეს ის იმენა, მაგას და სიმპლას იმენა ერთი ეგუა.
They know they don't have Spirit scared just yet, but this would be the round.
You get ops on both ends.
Давай, Моника Беличи. Ეხა გჭირდება შენ გაქილები. გაუსპამეთ, დაუფეთქეთ ტოპ-ლეგლი.
Had that early look at a donk towards the B side of the last round. Right now it's Shiro posting his off over towards the B apps, hoping that maybe Kerrigan jumps up into the scope. That's not going to happen, and he peels away from it early. This round is going to tell us a lot about what's to come and what can be done by Falcons on Mirage if there's anything at all to keep Spirit off double digits.
That's incredibly important for their money and their mental. I don't see a lot of players ending up saving in a round like this. Full press on the A ramp. Falcons. Honestly, on the plate.
Versus Donk. Sees the shadow. This is his chance to chase you down. Sure, Zontic's taken off. Kyosuke's got the answer. So will Shiro. Support piece.
Chance არა რომ გაგჩეკავს. ჩემზე ვიღებ. კარგია, მოლოტოვი ააცილა, მშვენიერი ტიპი. ეს ბიზე შევიდა.
But he hits the ground. And Tessas right now has no helping
hand. წავა ის 33 წამში ბიჭო.
Magic's going to make this marathon of a run all the way over to B. Hope that no one can cut him off.
შენი ბოლტი დედა მოუწყა, საიდან გარბიხარ? აუ, გარიგანას
Tanir has a chance to get a kill to lock this up. But if he doesn't clear this, there's a chance that Kerrigan swings default next year season. It's done.
Bullet to the back of the head.
Draw.
Although Shiro will reopen the realm of possibility so long as Nico can do something in what is right now this 1v2 on B site. Magic's better stay in cover. Moving around is giving Nico a chance to get out. Oh,
that
perfect timing just
as
with not only the perfect call to peel away from that A site, but also a couple of slick headshots to secure those double digits.
They kept options open with a lurk towards B. Sometimes that guy can come in, get off of that, and be the reason you win a post plan on the A site if it's on the back of triple. But in this situation, where there were 3 stacked up towards the A ramp, and that sandwich under Bal Crossfire, Spirit knew they made the wrong decision by going A and had a chance to change their mind. That's all the depth that we're looking for to turn losing positions into winning ones. Falcons had a big chance to take all the money away for Spirit and give themselves another anti-Nico.
Over top of stairs. Luckily for them, Tessas holds off Palace. Nico's got to come.
And that's another Magic flash.
Just keeps
Magic
sprinkling in
the
perfect decision and the headshots in that last round. Donk and Shiro making the most of the moment to secure this 11th for Spirit. You know where Tessas has got off to.
He flashed to CT and blinded default while Donk avoided it, covering everything. That one rests on such a fast timing. It needed to be perfect, and it was. He already got credit on the desk. It might give him a little bit more.
Feels well deserved.
Just
as you thought, maybe Falcons had fight left in them. Spirit, thanks to Magic's, now lead by 5.
He can hold a mouse too. Terrible for Monasi. This ends up being an early death for him. And right here, jumping, looking down. Right past default, knowing the flashes are going overhead, and Nico eats it. It feels like he had a chance, but in reality, he never did.
What a ball of energy Donk can be. And how desperate Falcons must feel. 5 USPs in this one. 12th round for Spirit, guaranteed. A 2-0 right there for the taking. And we all know how unlikely best of 5 comebacks are. This will be Falcons hoping to get back into guns after this round. Hanging on for dear life.
ეს 12-ია უკვე. 12-6-დან თუ დააკაბექეს კიდე რა ვიცი მოუსაღო.
And the crowd, they're loving the carnage. They just want more of it. Spirit won't have to split atoms to pilot this round to a win. Even with the B stack coming out, it's just so no pistol upgrades whatsoever.
Magic's are appreciates his commandas.
Donk on the hunt in the MAC-10 first blood. Still the advantage. MAC-10, Kerrigan's USP. Something, but we're gonna get that bomb moving back as the vacancy on A site's found. Monacy lingers just a bit longer. That's a USP ding. Look at these health bars and tell me, do you believe? Are you a madman?
Do I believe he's gonna? Well, he's got an AK now. And they're all looking for him, which is kind of funny. Magix ends up getting the kill with just a MAC-10 in his hand. The confidence out of Magix. They managed to keep the man in the team and get a new IGL. Didn't seem like genius at first, but look how well that's aging. A 6-round game, and Spirit haven't even touched their timeouts. Zonic's got a lot to say in this one.
While Sopvik's thinking, hey, this job's not so hard. They had to take a knee in that last round. They had to forfeit a 12th to Team Spirit's scoreboard. But if Kerrigan hasn't made a career on these kinds of comebacks, in these kinds of high-pressure situations, then he would have never been destined for Team Falcons.
Let's see what they've got to offer. Out the gate, they're not worried about A. It's already really interesting. We've seen Spirit instantly go into a ramp play. Out of room. Contention if this becomes a later round.
Russia. იქიდან 3 რუსი არის, აქეთ 2 რუსია. იოსუკე მონესი არიან რუსები. იქიდან არის დონკა, მაგიქსა და შირო რუსი. ის ბელარუსია ტრენერა და ის უკრაინელი.
And praying that they find the right timing.
იქით 2 დანიელია, კარიგანა, ტესესა და ნიკო ბოსნიელი.
Tenier lucky to be alive as Nico's M4 just can't find a second bullet to connect. And if he tries to walk out to the window,
კარგი, რასაკეთებ, შეჩემა დედას ხო აღარ მოგიწყნავს და მე რამდენად უნდა მოკლას.
Inside the window to take that peek.
Feeling the need like he's got to get it going. The desk had a lot to say about Nico versus Donk in middle. And we may have just gotten one of those head-to-heads for the road.
Deep molly on Cat.
Honestly scrambled over towards this A site. A lot of responsibility right now on his own. His connector player just tucked into the corner. SS toying with the thought of something coming out through middle, but now we get this announcement from Team Spirit. Utility flies out the ramp. Magix has been cleared. That's step 1 for Falcons to rebuttal in round 19.
Tenier done this again. He's already on this full flank. They were waiting for him to get in this spot. Donk gets one, but everybody on the A site goes down.
Shiro walking through.
Must be him now.
Now Tenier activating alongside Shiro from the other side of this. They pull apart that setup. SS knows that Tenier's got to be low HP from that Nico headshot early. Second player spotted, turns in between. Nice, makes sure Mirage keeps
the unlikely hero here for Falcons. He pulls the clutch out, and they'll chug along. A 7th round here for Falcons, a close call. They hadn't gotten those kills as quickly as they did. Tenier's flank only would have become more potent. He would have loved to walk the whole way with the bomb plan down and site control to guarantee that round. And it becomes a 5-round game.
They lean away from playing in the site. They post Monacy right there towards stairs. So it begins.
Not a worry in the world here for Spirit. Just one more chance with rifles and a little bit of extra money left over.
And really a round that could have actually just been
a
more comfortable moment for Falcons. Nico dying to donk like that on his attempt to take down Tanir in middle after he had already departed. God, that could have been gut-wrenching for Falcons to die on Nico's sword. And it really did come down to Nico just writing off the thought that there were players over towards top
and maybe, you know, him dropping that's dangerous, man. He has to try to evacuate immediately. And they're going to fight him the whole way through, but he might be able to make it. No, it's a punish. And it might be a game-ending punish.
Another fight before moment. Falcons survived the last one round to go. Nico dead to Tanir. Taps over top of the cap bridge. The world lies on Monacy's shoulders. And with that smoke soon to fade inside connector, he's got plenty of bodies on the left side, but
already by his scope.
Tanir is out. Tanir is out, but how is he spotted? And now Monacy knows. But Tanir's so close. Nothing you can do about this. Kerrigan's late arrival out through jungle finds back turn. And at the same time, Kyosuke's already gotten a frag. We go 1v1.
Shiro, he'll pick the op up for the 1v1. Bomb gets planted. Kyosuke has to squeeze this.
Ops on the line. Falcons plucked from the sky. And suddenly this shutdown becomes a damnation for the Falcons in a best-of-5. A massive comeback ask of a team with 8 days of practice.
She said she loves you, but she can't love me.
But I love you.
I won't play window anymore.
What's going on?
Play your role. 1xBet.
The human body was built to move, not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
$1000 guys. Your troll is very good. დიდი კუში არის პრიზი, მაგრამ ზუსტად არ მახსოვს რამდენი. 1700 ლარი პლუს გამბაჟება მაგას, პლუს ტონა.
Welcome back. That win on Mirage puts Spirit at championship point, and we're going to find out just how powerful vibes can be as Carrigan tries to corral the troops over at Falcons. I'm just going to start you here, gentlemen on the panel. It's a final. It's Magic's.
It's Magic.
It's Carrigan, and Magic's is having a life game again. I don't know, dude. You have to have like some sort of statue.
He's a news way.
This guy somewhere. Yeah, exactly. Like, stop this.
It's a nightmare. It's a recurring nightmare here for Carrigan as he enters the server once again against the Magics that is also performing as an individual, but just setting his team up too. That's what's so crazy about the win here. It's just that the polish is evident between these two teams. I'm looking right now at Falcons, and I'm seeing relics. I'm seeing antiques. I'm seeing guys that are just so dusty with cobwebs that Magics just goes over, he blows on them, and they fall apart.
I said this earlier as well. I'm going to say once again, Tanir is having his best performance, best event so far in the Spirit jersey. This is perhaps his best playoffs performance so far. I know it's a best of 5. I know we still have at least one more map left for this match to be closed out, but he's been lights out, man. And this is, by the way, in a map, in a game where Magix is popping off. We're looking at Donk looking like Donk. We're looking at Shiro being lethal as well. So flowers to the guy. He is truly lost.
Indeed he has. I mean, we talked about how maybe they should target that B defense of Magic's Zontics. Well, they tried. That didn't work. We also just saw Doc wreaking absolute havoc on middle any opportunity that he got, as well as helping out with the assistance at the A-bomb site. And yeah, you know, Blaz talking about it perfectly. Tanir, that A anchor, playing it to such a high level. I mean, the defense was just totally impenetrable throughout that first half with such a big score. Then when you flip sides to the T side, Spirit wasted no time closing this, and it comes back to a lot of the things that Maui's brought up. And that the flashes are just so good. People are so blind all the time. And Falcons tried their damnedest. They tried to get aggressive at A ramp with Tessis, or tried to move Munacy's off round. It didn't matter, bro. Spirit had answers, and yet again, Tanir was massive with those flanks. I never have seen Spirit
3.0 KD, Dust. 3.0 KD on the CT side, A anchoring for Tanir. That's an impenetrable defense. Carrigan tried to break through it, but it was just so flat. You're just going to throw A execs at this guy? This guy's in career best form right now, so good luck.
But I also want to tie him to his T side. Dude, the flanks he was making through the B bomb site were absurd. He won them a couple of rounds by those moves he was making. I never saw Spirit do that type of stuff before.
And I think it all comes down to the confidence that I feel like Sofik is injected straight into Tanir's veins, where he's like, listen, you don't always have to play with the system. Don't be scared to make a play. Don't be scared to take onus on yourself to try and close the round out. And it's working wonderfully. I just want to also harken back to the second half as well. 1.8 rating is just ludicrous. By the way, this is a map where even Donk was popping off. Everyone is having a great time. So now 2 maps back-to-back with ludicrous rating and impact from Tanir.
Look at that heat map. It's not just in the A-bomb side. This dude's pushing down middle and being aggressive. They're not making him just be an anchor. They're allowing him to be a little bit more selfish and make some plays in middle. And then again, look at the entries he's getting on the B-bomb side. Look at the havoc he is wreaking in the underpass and bottom middle. This is a Tanir we've been waiting to see for a long time. This is the third-star Spirit need to be a real contender.
I remember when we were walking from the green room back over here, saw on a big screen, there's one particular round. CD side, you maybe see Falcons mounting a bit of a comeback over there. Tessus dies towards Ram. Nico's on the bomb side. He's not playing He's ready. Donk jumps around the corner. Flash. Pop in his face. Can't shoot a single bullet. He's dead. You can see the frustration of Nico. And now we think every time you look at these fights, there are flashes everywhere, and it's perfect.
The Donk haters last year, the crux of their argument was that Donk is the most set up player. They were wrong last year. They're right this year. This year, they're totally right. He's getting set up like crazy. The flashes, again, were paramount to the success on the offense for Spirit.
I know I said I wasn't going to recycle narratives, but I'm a hack. I've been doing this for so long. You got to recycle some of the classics. Remember, Nico is meant to be Donk's kryptonite, right? That's what everybody says, that when Nico and Munacy take on this guy, they take him down. They are a mile away from doing that right now.
The difference is the support. I mean, it really is. Like these flashes, I know we keep harping on, but they're so important. The way that Vitality started to separate themselves, besides playing perfect Counter-Strike and having loads of talent, is that they started taking utility to a new level. The way they would flush people out of position with Molotovs and nades, the way that they would flash for each other, the way they would support Flamesy as their entry or Ziwu. They're doing this now on Spirit, and they're also giving their players more freedom to make plays. Tanir is no longer in the shadows. He's allowed to be a little bit more in the forefront. And it's giving Donk so much more freedom, I feel like, to not have to be the guy, and he can be a little bit more patient and call his own numbers.
And even Shiro as well, man. Just the amount of impact everyone's finding. Bear in mind, 21, the amount of people getting blinded. It's not just you had Magics on Dust 2, 30 flash assists, and now we have Shiro with the op. Also, by the way, getting 18 kills while being a support utility guy.
It's just a huge difference. It's the way that Spirit has shown up to this tournament, and even how they looked back at Rio. It's just so obvious that right now, I have a question that I have to ask the audience here.
Okay.
Do we have any Falcons fans left in the arena?
Okay.
I feel like I heard Holly.
They're over.
I feel like Holly was. Is that Holly out there? Because he's watching this and he is dreading the moment that he has to come back and try to one up what Sophic did.
I couldn't agree with you more. And what's hilarious is the way Team Spirit have tried to pass this off. It's just something we're doing. We're just trying it out. What, perfect flash executions on every single goddamn play you make? No, you haven't just pulled that out. You've worked on this quite clearly, and it is something new, and it makes Spirit a terrifying prospect. If I'm Vitality, just gone out of Atlanta.
Let's pivot roles for a second. I'm going to do a little hosting here for a second. I'm going to ask you, all three of you, a question, actually. Right. This time last year, if I would have told you, hey, Matches is going to end-game lead Spirit, and they're going to have the best flash assists of any team in the world, what would you think?
I think it just lost in the sauce.
Are you insane?
All right,
first, because we're all podcasters, right? Yeah. So, I said this was a bad idea. I said, welcome to the big leagues. Like being an IGL, for all the nonsense that was thrown Chopper's way. Chopper was a tenured IGL. He'd won trophies. He'd been around the block. Now, Spirit might not have looked so good under Chopper. They might have underperformed. They still lifted trophies. And so when they started Magics in, I was like, good luck. Enjoy that. And then when Overdrive was saying, it'll only take him 2 years, I spat my drink out of my
Try 2 months, apparently.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Maybe it was a typo, right? Maybe it was a typo all along. Maybe Overdrive was like, oh, I meant to say months, actually. But listen, credit where it's due, right? Now, we don't know, obviously, if game's done or not here. I'm still never going to count out a Carrigan team in the finals. But still, what we've seen so far, the eye test, it's there. It's no longer just a donk show. And that, for me, is what Spirit have been waiting for so very long.
Yeah, and it's not just a donk show. It's like Zontix, this has probably been the best I've seen him play since he got dropped.
Sure.
And took that time out and brought back in. Shiro's been steady, always been that wingman to donk. But at the end of the day, that they haven't looked this cohesive for a long, long time.
Zontix talked about everything that Sotfik has done. I feel like the one thing that Sotfik said to Zontix is aim for the head. That's just the one piece of advice he gave him.
Stop walking around like this.
just move that crosshair a little bit up. Just move your mouse up a little bit.
Stop listening to Reddit, right? Astralis didn't win majors aiming at the body. No, but jokes aside, dude, I feel like it's always going to go back to the conversation of Tanir, because we saw in Rio 1.11 rating, the best event he's had so far in the Spirit jersey, and now he's somewhat elevated himself, but it's just the confidence, the pep in the step in which he's taking these plays, and also just winning these duels as well.
Look, we all know if Spirit wins this event, who the MVP is going to be. It's going to be pretty easy. But Tanir has had the glow up of all time. Again, this is the Tanir we've been waiting to see ever since he made the transition from Heroic. He was a star on that squad. He had his own little hat in the arena, in my opinion, for Rookie of the Year for a little bit of time. Absolutely. And so to see him struggle at first on Spirit, have to go through a couple different roster transitions where he was playing alongside Zway for a bit. Now Zontix coming back. Tanir had to give up all the roles he had back to Zontix and kind of readjust how he's doing things. But the guy is now locking down as an anchor. The guy is trade fragging very, very well and creating openings and lurks. And he's having his best performance ever in a playoff. This is the third star that you've been wanting, Spirit.
I think it will be a disaster no matter what they want to say after the fact. Get to this final. Don't take a single map Falcons. That's like an inauspicious start to the Carrigan era. They have absolutely got to step up here. Even if you just get one map on the board, I think you go home, you feel pretty good. You get 3-0'd in a grand final in front of a crowd.
Where we've seen in the best of 5 finals a team pulling off the reverse sweep. But that being said, Ancient, we've seen Spirit play 3 times so far. They've won it 3 times, but that was predicated off an incredible incredible CD side. The T side have still looked pretty rough so far. So there is a chance right now for Falcons to bring this one back. It is going to be on a CD start.
Spirit got back in the lab after they lost this one at ESL Pro League to Astralis. That was a huge wake-up call for them. They recognized that they needed to be much better at setting Donk up with utility. You couldn't just send him out every single round and feed him to all of the wealth of nades and combinations that teams are going to throw at him. So now they have different looks. They have different tempo changes, and I feel like that has led to Donk being a huge beneficiary where he's not just dying or even getting a kill in the first 15 seconds. They play the round out a little bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, this has been a recovery situation for Spirit because Ancient used to be their next best map after Dust 2 last year, and they kind of cooled off at the beginning of this year, in my opinion, but now they're heating back up, and it's because of this Donk to Nier combo. We keep talking about it, but when they're on the T side, the fact that Donk and Zontix can come out elbow and pressure middle, and then you have Tanir swinging off the shelf side, it just gives them so much flexibility, as well as Tanir being a BK threat. So they're able to really spread out the pressure, as well as having those powerful executes with very, very good utility. They've even been adding some fakes to their playbook lately to watch out for in this game. For Falcons, what we need to see is them start exploring that diversity we've seen in other games. Look, they had a lot of different openers throughout this tournament on the T side of Ancient I've been impressed by, and a lot of it goes around how do they move Kiyosuke around the map, because sometimes he's your mid guy, but sometimes you just stack him B with Nico and you entry, and so they need to make the right decision.
I'm still not impressed with Spirit's T side on Ancient. I know we've been praising them heaps on Dust 2 and in Mirages and all the other maps as well. T side it always seems like, listen Donk, we're going to setting up towards mid, you're by yourself, you die, oh, well, what's the game plan? What are we going to do right now, right? It seems always like they're so reliant on him winning those mid deals. But guess what? Guess who's going to be towards mid, duking him out? It's going to be Kiyosuke. He's going to be being set up. The protocols from Falcons on the CD side especially have looked phenomenal. And you cannot forget that guy, that sign right there, Monacy, CT op on Ancient, has been phenomenal so far, despite him having a bit of a quiet series so far. I'm not going to count him out yet here, Rich.
I just need to see some better decision-making from Nico. Towards the tail end of that Mirage, he was making some very awkward moves, falling down from ladder room into window, giving up a free kill there. The way he was peeking around A just felt like he was inviting duels that he probably shouldn't have. I want to see him lock it in. I don't want to see a Nico who has been such a perennial superstar for the last 8 years fall off now. I don't want to see the twilight years of Nico in 2026. I want to see him push the longevity of what you can do as a star rifler.
I think it's a great thing that you brought up Nico because he's so important for this squad. While Kiyosuke is the tip of the spear at middle and a lot of that executes, the guy's a playmaker. Nico's supposed to be that guy at B that gives you that split pressure threat on the T ramp to really allow the team to have a lot of flexibility in the mid round. He also will be required to pair up with Kiyosuke in middle and find a way to slow down Donk and Tanir, who are going to be looking for that mid control time and time again. This is going to be fireworks, and this is a chance for Falcons to do something that no one expects, to push this series further. But it's also a chance for Spirit to have one of the most dominant tournament runs that you could ever ask for in a field with no Vitality and Na'Vi. They need this trophy to prove that they are one of the best.
And you saw it there, the ambulance, call an ambulance, but not for me. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen here, what kind of adjustments they can make, but they're going to have to do it right now. And with that said, we go to Ancient, and of course, we go over to Scrawny and Launders.
Things suddenly feel real bleak for the Falcons team. It is a stark contrast to the high hopes they had when Dust 2 was rolling and they could sprinkle in a bit of magic and pull off those unorthodox wins. Mirage was an eye-opening experience for a Falcons that now have to battle back from the doldrums.
And as much as we're scared that we've seen it all before, we know that Kerrigan's been in this many finals, and they potentially have to make a historic comeback into it. Why not believe?
Let's go!
It's a map that they can play.
They
have an outstanding T side, and it's actually where Spirit will start. This pick could be interesting.
Ooh, careful. Tess's awkward. Pulls his smoke, guns back out. Kyosuke to try to recover. Burned out of there by Magix. Now it falls on Kerrigan. He's got smoke to try to work within. Donk just wants blood. And he's not able to find it. Kerrigan keeps himself alive, which means we'll go 3v4 retake here for Falcons.
Already kicking off from the back foot. Falcons will lodge themselves into positions to try to go for peaks. But everyone's spread out. The most fundamentally sound positions possible. How will they figure this out?
Could be numbers to push inside of the cave. Monacy tries to take the peak. Magix takes his head over towards the ramp. Things go better. Only momentarily. We get the only one of those three to get a kill as Spirit take the first.
We get a first glimpse into this round, and immediately we have a Magix flash and a 3K. His performance as an individual and as an IGL has been outstanding. He continues to shine.
It's funny, isn't it, how Apex kind of propped up Magix and said, like, he could become something if he just has time.
Look how they doubted me.
Yes, sir. And look how Apex has become the king of utility in Counter-Strike 2. And watch tonight as Magix evolves in the same regard. That flash that Nico had to stomach back on the A side of Mirage had him pissed.
Now, speaking of IGLs, reading and flash impact.
Srolid ბევრად წინ არიან, რავი, ჯობნიან ყველა დუელს უგებენ.
Easy does it.
შეხედე ეგზეკი გაუკეთეს თულეკოს. ვაიმე?
Suddenly start
ვაიმე?
connecting way more than they should. Zontix is going to be worried. I mean, he's down to 13 health.
And they fall back to the back of default, and one Molly could get him out, but they've already used them.
Yeah, they'll throw a player over top of green, make it all the more comfortable.
Wow, საღო მაგარი დემეიჯი გაუკეთეს ტიპებს იმენა. ჯამში 100 HP არა აქვს. ყველა ერთი ტაპია, ყველა ერთი შოთია. შიროს გარდა ყველა ერთი შოთია.
Saw a sign in the crowd that we want a Kerrigan clutch. Well, this would be the ultimate one.
They let Shiro take the duel. He was the one of the three with the most HP. And so while Spirit do kind of get taken aback by the sudden damage out of those pistols, Falcons are not able to upset in the second.
You can see as Kerrigan shakes in his chair just to get ready for this next round where the buy's coming forward. He knows where this is where this match begins.
გუნდს გააჩნია რა. შეიძლება კარგი იყო, მაგრამ გუნდში არ იყო კარგში. კი, მადლობა bro. შენთვის წარმატებები.
And Magix only has
ამ ტურნირზე მომცეს უფლება და ნახეთ რა დავმო.
Why is that? Actually, they're buying like they just lost the last round. Shiro's got some left over.
It's a scary amount of confidence to have when Falcons, as you can see, M4s across the board.
Shiro could have dropped them. But obviously he's thinking about his op too.
Magic's just kind of twisted like that. We'll see if it's a decision that comes back to haunt Spirit, whether Falcons can get a foot in the door early. We'll put a pin in it.
Taking over mid early. Not seeing anyone push back into it. Does make the CTs insecure. We can see how they flow and start to gravitate towards mid because they definitely need to see something. They're going to go for a dealing and watch their backs. We've got Kyosuke kind of tied up, but ready to fight B.
As more utility trickles in, decides to double up inside of Cave. That'll leave Kyosuke with the responsibility of Long in Tess's absence. Little wallbang attempt as we go down to a single flash here for Spirit. There it goes. Last piece of util. Now it's just guns up.
Oh.
And that gets Tanir into the headshot.
Whoa,
and they start to unravel. And all of a sudden, Kerrigan
pressure
from both sides. I mean, could that have gone any better?
Come on. Tanir can do what Donk does sometimes. This is actually crazy. These few maps from him.
That flashbang to perfection.
Yeah, serious. And how many times are we going to say that?
Starting to feel like all night long, or at least whatever's left of this evening.
You just don't love this setup inside of Cave. They have a feeling that it's going to be a B play, but if you get set in Cave and a Molly comes down, as it does on a lot of these B plays, your K players can't really fight back. They can wait for you to swing across default like we just saw from Tanir, but that's bonus money. If Tanir gets the first kill and he feels like, okay, we're low numbers or something, then he doesn't have to fight more. He can let them stay there. You get that bomb planet. You've got back lanes control as well. But instead, that comes down to Kyosuke with no flash support himself, having to fight at an open line. Yeah, he's a confident, great multi-frag rifler in a solid position to do that. But again, versus a little bit of utility and players that are almost as good as him, there's absolutely no chance. Would have loved to see that default or that setup be a bit more audacious. To use one of those players to get in front, to draw attention away from Kyosuke so he can get 2 kills instead. It's not time to turtle up. And that's more utility coming your way, Falcons.
Tries to spam towards elbow, but nobody's on the other side of this.
Magix, who came into that last round with a tech 9, no need to upgrade. Look go ahead and grab an
Falcons
M4 to use against
უწევთ, რა
Really a
რაღაცა
sign of
დაუტრია და
bad
თავში
things for
და
Falcons. There's 3 M4s in the hands of Spirit right now. Prop him up, why don't you? Tess has to try to get the 5-7 into the action. Did hit that headshot. That's going to be to near low. M4 of Josuke looking for more than just that first. But matched by a perfect wall bang. Takes that pressure off of the Spirit members that are looking to just roll forward off ramp. But a missing smoke. Does it come back to haunt them? Doesn't feel like it will. Shiro, instant headshot there on Monesi. And so it will just remain 2 pistols. Another bout of wall bang damage, taking Kerrigan down to 5. Pelted by utility. Nade after nade. And he would love to try to stop this bomb plant, but doesn't have the vision to do it. Doesn't have the teammates, and, well, neither have the health to really throw a spanner in the works for Spirit.
Yeah, no chance to get one over on Spirit, and Nico will just back up into his depth. And that's another round 1 for Team Spirit. Starting on T-side, looking excellent themselves. The startling stat for Falcons. Again, they're the ones also on a map win streak on Ancient. This one wasn't going to be free. But they have a 67% win rate on T-side.
Falcons fans just holding their breath and hoping their team can even get there with something to show of their efforts on the defense. Monesi trying to make the mid-jump into the corner, but again, there's not been like a ton of pressure coming out through the elbow.
I mean, he's going to eat this entire thing. The volley. The smoke is too high. How does it even land there?
Kerrigan comes wide, a one and done off of the cave. Trying to be the hero of round 5, instead feeds another frag over to Spirit, and we get this cross perfectly timed by Zontix. Kyosuke will be none the wiser. Unfortunately, inside the B site, there's nothing here to be had.
I mean, their awareness about where the gaps are is insane. I mean, they're so ready to take all of these fights. Two best on the map for Spirit inside of middle, but it is a free B site hit. And 5-0 start. This will be a curtain call for Falcons if they don't wake up.
The hell?
I don't even know.
Team headshot. Oh, what? He's lapping it off, but this is no joking matter. You're down to a 5-0 start versus Team Spirit, who already believe, based on the result of Mirage, that they are simply better. Nico's M4 held on to. No, sir, denied at the final mark. It is Doc to get the kill and be the sole survivor. Spirit instant timeout call.
Yeah, damn. I mean, that shot also gets him killed, and they know exactly where he's standing. What kind of investment can you really come up with here if you're Falcons? It's such a wiry buy. We're on the precipice of getting everything you want, but yeah, instead, just invest slightly. Spirit have been giving love to every part of the map. Saw them take their anti-go towards A. I wonder if Falcons are thinking that's where they'll go again. They won't have an easy time contesting mid, obviously. They come in with so much utility to use. So they really have to guide their intentions.
Again, just gets caught on aid. His timing is just that half second off. And no surprise to see Spirit through the smoke. Up in smoke, go Team Falcons.
They're just not overthinking. 16 Spirit started off dust 2, 0 and 6. They haven't looked back. We saw the interview from Dawn. They're in utility again. You go to such a what kind of gets him
Mirage that they start.
Curtain call for Falcons if they don't wake up.
The hell?
I don't even know.
Team headshot.
Like one
had to have been
damage
Nico.
Oh,
Spirit, who
6.
Assertion have his little moment. Two
No
words. Chance. I don't think he would have expected to say the same thing coming into this grand finals. As his confidence grows throughout this series, as he is now 9-1 here on Ancient. Team Spirit flawless in the third map of this best of 5 grand finals.
Incredible credit to Spirit for everything that they've done that has accumulated in them getting to this grand finals. Having a player like Tanir developed so well, new coach, Donk still playing well and actually on pace to break a record. Somehow everybody else is playing well and Donk is still getting his.
And the beauty of the formula was coming into this third map, it was, you know, this breakout performance from Tanir, propping up the other pieces of Team Spirit. And now one for the road, if that's all Ancient's gonna be, is Donk's reminder to the rest of the world that he is still king. Nico, ahead of the smoke grenade, will catch Donk off at least. But we have just sat here singing the praise of all the other Spirit members, so let's see what this 4v5 recovery really looks like.
First time they successfully won their bouts inside of middle, taking control of it. And are up to a 5v4. But Tanir's lurks have been so effective, and Tessus will get spotted. He won't be able to let go of the smoke. He has to duel, and he'll win it. But this also draws everyone over to the wrong side of the map.
All a matter of Spirit pouncing in this moment, here and now. Moxie with the deep line. As he sits here, we start to get second-guessing Falcons taking a look over towards middle, which means it will be a fast rotation, and you'd think a comfortable retake in a 5v.
No CT smoke, op shot misses.
That's going to open the door for the bomb plant. Magic's able to get that device on the front side of Donut. A little jump spot over the big box, and Shiro knows there's movement inside of Temple. He sees that as an invitation to take the CT line, and Tessus, trying to fight back from the bottom of the scoreboard, has now got himself a multi-kill in this one. It's going to fall on Magic's and Saltic's 2v5 in this A site.
Don't give up this position.
Here comes the retake. 3 numbers strong. Yeah, they'll clear it out. Tessus able to hold back finally. We've seen him kind of over-encumbered with utility usage inside B. He keeps it simple, gets the first kill, and in the 7th round of play, Falcons will win their first.
Straight counter flashes, a little elbow grease there from Nico as he takes that first duel. And still an interesting game plan to keep the round interesting out of Spirit, but it's, yeah, Tessus to find the lurk, Tessus to get the final word. We'll see if this means anything. Falcons have opened the door to this half or not, because they don't even need, I think, 6 rounds to be competitive. They're looking forward to next half. They just don't want to think too far ahead.
Leiders არ ამოარტყა, ასაკს საპატიო. Falcons please come back. თან დანტენზე რო აქ შეერთები.
Everybody wants a show.
Kerrigan loves giving them to us. But Spirit also love to stomp. See if Tessus can handle another challenge. No presence from Falcons out middle. Just let Spirit climb up into this duel on Cave.
Let's call this Monty's first kill.
This shot.
Oh, a chance to nail it. Oh, Kerrigan needed that from you, Monacy.
You gotta know better that Donk will absolutely rank it.
His last bullet.
2 shots left. He decides to swap out AKs and go on the hunt.
Let Freiburg off the leash. Donk looking to turn this entry into an ace. Falcons are cowering.
And that's the worst thing you can do versus a guy like Donk.
Man, Monacy. Like, Kerrigan is a bait for him. He has a chance to hit that op shot. It totally changes the makeup of this round. And Donk, another headshot. He's an absolute machine, 13-2.
Run back the highlight reel. trounces Falcons on that run through cave. And, you know, that's the kind of split-second decision that you get punished for when you're playing versus a guy like Donk. One smoke, all Kerrigan wants to drop. One missed op shot on Amonasy. Now that's actually problematic. That's the biggest flaw in this situation so far.
He just peeks. He's running. Running through for 2K escape.
Kerrigan says it. He's just running. Yeah, because he's running through you with no regard for whoever the hell you think you are not Donk.
ერთიდან 0-6 კუში. დავაი, შევაგდეთ ძმებო ფალკონებზე 873-ია.
And his peak longevity
is
something we'll never see again. Maybe never, obviously. We never thought we'd see Donk in the first place.
ძალიან მაგარი პლეისმენტი აქვს, მაგით
But it is a sight to behold.
მარტო სროლა ჭირდება წვეჩი. და სროლაც ძალიან ამბოზარია. მიდაპირ თავზიადებ.
And whenever a player is this good, you almost see a dysfunctional system behind it consistently. Another B hit coming in quickly. Another entry for Tanir.
Nothing they can do. Kyosuke at least able to recover the one. TSS will find a back turn.
3 kills again.
Donk just does not stop. He will not let off. Relentless in overtaking Team Falcons. That B bomb site is his
პირველი მაპის მერე მეთქი ისეთი თამაში წავიდა. პირველ მაპში მეთქი ეგაა და so
When there are that many people dying at one time, you have the right amount of people to stop the site exec, but no one is ever denying that opening kill, whether it's Tanir or Donk. Feels like the only time they even killed Tanir was when he was lurking. Spirit have not broken a sweat.
Zero kill Monasy is not something I thought I'd be looking at.
Monasy 0-6. Yeah, ერთიდან 0-7-ზე გაუშვათ, აბა.
That first half of Dust 2.
აზრია რა გამაპის გაწუვას იმენა დამძრეულია. просто რაც არ უნდა გავწუვო და რაც არ უნდა დავაჯო და ვისაც არ უნდა დავაჯო იმენა აზრია რა.
Donk into the cover. Knows you want to sign up for a fight. He is not
timid. ფლეში მოხდება.
Ideu კაი, მოლის პირველი kill. First kill is collected in round 2.
მეორე kili, კარგი ხანონიკა.
Very nice movement, a second frag in.
დავაი, ჯერ არაფერი არ არის დამთავრებული. თქვენ შევეცი.
Cannot remain a shell of himself, so to get a multi-kill. In the dying moments of the CT side.
You know, it's that good movement that generates the opportunity for that next kill. And generating chances is something you see no matter how off his form looks. Obviously, the only question is, why are there any misses at all? But he's setting himself up and getting set up so well. But for now, that's not something they have to think about. That op impact may translate directly into a round 1.
8-4, best case scenario for Falcons on this
იუდაზე მეტი ვერცხლი, ერთი ამას აქვს ნიკოს და მეორე იმას, რა ქვია, ლალაიანია თუ რა გვარია ის. ტალახაძემ რო ააღებინა ყველაფერი.
It's not too much of an ask to totally stop this team Spirit. Sure, that seems unthinkable. But at least give yourself the best chance once you swap over that T side that we have respect for. The stats don't lie. Falcons attack should be a way back into this game. They need a CT side to stand on, and this second round could be the start of that foundation at the tail end of these first 12 rounds of play.
We've seen close chances pass them by, but again, it doesn't really matter as long as they trek on and keep believing in themselves. The round where Donk entries his way through, be it Monas even gets 1 kill. That's really the difference maker. And we see an example of that now. used to see a Spirit that could start slow, blow leads, get frustrated, and unfortunately for Falcons, so far none of those things seem like they're still apparent. And again, something new.
Donk doesn't believe that that fire spread far enough.
He's being held.
He's got support right behind him in the off chance that Donk doesn't get this kill himself. He waits for that smoke to block off the rotate.
They hit him with it.
Zerg confirming that he's in there so that Donk knows damn well what's up. Firebomb misses. Extinguished. Monacy wants his line, but as the smoke goes back up, it's going to be the CT side taken open. Spawn belongs to Spirit.
Yeah, they can run at this A site. Flash dodge, Hero could die.
Just recovers vision. Kerrigan able to stuff him up close. Man advantage for the retakes. Falcons need every round left in the CT side.
They want to run it this early. One trade comes back to Near in the clutch.
Tontix taking that frag, pushes to Near into the clutch, and we saw his entries over on B site. What about a close? Missed opportunity there for Monacy. And as Falcons players line up, Tenier just stays tucked in. Goes for the wide swing. Almost, but instead Falcons find 3.
The fact that they even make that competitive is unreal. But they close it. Falcons pick up a third. Where the flash actually hits the target. Into lower on Dust 2. Right in this corner. No way to counter that.
Just when you think you'd seen it all, Counter-Strike never stops evolving.
Რა ვისკენ ვარ, Falcons-ისკენ ვარ, რომ ერთი მაპი მაინც მოიგენ, მაგრამ აბა ჩაყრასიდე ვერაფერს ვერ.
16-4 on the T side.
That flash might get him killed. Yeah, that flash will get him killed. It goes too high. Don't get already skilled. He saw that flash for so long.
How many kills can this one monster find?
აი ხა ეს თამაში რო იყოს მეოთხე ფინალი ან რაღაცა ეგეთი რა. აი მე დედას მოუთხოვნდა Falcons. 3 თროს მოუგებდა.
We've got Falcons shaking in their boots because they know that this B site has crumbled for the majority of the CT side. This cave has been Monacy's grave more often than not, and looking to make up for that.
It's been horrible attempts to defend B, just in general. Everybody involved, honestly.
They'll overtake the cave. No resistance offered for Team Spirit. 2 pieces on the brink of this B bomb site, looking to join forces with the bomb itself up ramp. This is number
Niko, bagara ადგილს ეხა შენ ძმობას ვიტყვი რომ გამაგდი. გამაგდი ძმობას გაფიცებ. Niko, გამაგდი.
He's got to collect something and he's got to do it now.
შემოდიან, გამაგდი Niko.
Monacy will have open lines.
They stall, they stutter, they hold for a second, and this actually pulls Kerrigan off of the bomb site. Out goes that one last flash. And still, Spirit, nowhere to be found. And so Monacy starts to second guess himself. Is there really anything here? They'll stay locked in, doubling up here on short instead. The bomb over towards ramp. They have waited to the final 15 seconds. Monacy, that one's slipped. Shiro gets the recovery, so it is only Monacy here. Himself a 3rd kill on this round. No 4th. This Magix forces through. And Nico from the other side of the map will have to come running over. Low HP Tenier confirms the avenue of attack.
Oh, he bounces off nothing.
Goes too far. Fire to Magix's feet will burn him out from behind that column, but he's got a little bit of refuge still left. And as Nico tries to figure out where the hell Tenier got off to, he knows he's got to be up close.
They made the clear move. He's going to clear this out.
15 seconds. Nico trying to press in. They've done such a good job of just dodging him. Elusive and unstoppable. Our Spirit by the end of this first half. Just when Falcons start to piece together a couple of rounds and attempt to build back their self-belief, Spirit crushed them.
Yeah.
I need a hero.
(9-3) to round out the half. That's exactly what Spirit were looking for coming into Ancient. They know that Falcons are formidable on this map. And as happy as they will be to switch over to T-side themselves, from what we've seen so far, Spirit aren't simply going to crack.
What a totally different round as well. Just, you know, within the bigger picture, the gearing up and the evolution of Team Spirit.
We're watching this moment for Monasi.
ცოტა კარი განამამავალს იფუჭებს Falcons-ში, მაგარი ყლებავშებში მოხდა რა.
And around like that and consistent output like that, and he does have a team
არა,
that will pick up some key traits around him. But to be honest, that whole B-site was just an eyesore. Every attempt at the hole, playing retake on every single situation, letting the flashes hit them, full efficacy, pop flashes landing right in front of the default pillar and then dying with no chance to shoot back. That B-site hold needs a renovation, and it's too late to do anything about that. Now they must figure out how to win this on the attack.
All in, super simplified. Charge up. Kerrigan to have his hands full. Tries to catch them off. Tenier with the jumping USB headshot. As if Team Spirit needed anything else. Now Lady Luck blesses them in this retake. Magic starts to offer up a distraction. That's going to call a lot of bodies for Falcons towards this corner. And still he just stays locked in. Tessa's dead. All on Kyosuke. Donk on the other end of this. And that's going to force Kyosuke back into the cave with 30 health. They are going to stay this bomb.
That's the round over if Kyosuke doesn't run at this.
He tries to charge it down, and as he closes in on the distance, his chance right there. But he can't get any headshot.
He had chances, he had time, he had bullets, but he didn't have the aim. He knocks him off the defuse. Even if he dies, that round is won. Oh, that's how you die.
Donk cleans up.
Oh, Tenier could not hit him, and still Donk stayed alive. Good job body blocking.
Falcons, in an act of desperation, are going to force buy into this round. They're trying to put investments into Kyosuke's hand. He will be holding on to that AK-47. Just when you thought that maybe Monasi could bring back this game, we start to see a little shakiness creep into Kyosuke's hands. Just get him off the defuse, all that's asked. And under pressure, due to the defuse itself, he cannot get it. Falcons will have no pistol win. This uphill battle.
Only gets deeper.
შემდეგი მეიჯორი კიდე შეიძლება რაღაცა ქნან, მაგრამ ეხლა იმენა. გუფიდან შეიძლება გამოაჯმებინა.
No strangers to missteps. No strangers to radar screenshots. But it's doom and gloom for what's left of this half if they can't win this round. So Kerrigan finding a Tech 9 kill in mid helps. But Zontix was ready to respond, and that smoke's failed.
Oh, they denied it. Perfect. Oh, are you even going to get the bomb planted now?
Now Kyosuke's AK is revealed itself, and Tessas uses that Tech 9 to press in. Kyosuke delivers a second. Hands busy with kills to Kyosuke. A double down by Tessas, and Falcons find fight.
Now, we all have been in that situation on the A site. Bomb gets denied. You don't necessarily get another opportunity to put it down, but they had more to give. More fraggers to trade, so they do go up against a little bit of resistance, and they succeed. It's a good call to get into the A site. Very simple for them. We haven't seen the full breadth of the game plan here on T-side Ancient. Here's where they'll have to show us what to believe in. Immediately missing a molly. Spirit don't have much.
Better be worried about that ramp push. You can see his caution. All Donk wants.
Let's just do no deagle headshots for one round. Like, let's just see what happens if, you know, Spirit don't convert this round. Monasi takes one off. Okay.
Here we go. Shiro. It's not a headshot. Oh, there it is. A main will get shut down. And you've had this moment for Tenier to push a 5-7 into this corner. We know what 5-7s do in this kind of a distance. And so Nico dead, all of a sudden, you don't want to push out of that door, and he's got a smoke to block this in a minute.
No greed for Tenier, doesn't go for the gun, gets away, smoke to block this off. And it becomes a nightmare now for Falcons 2v3.
And they split up
just to win versus an anti-ego.
Tenier decides to give them space. But every step of the way, Falcons are going to remain cautious, concerned that any of these corners just took Nico's head off.
It's still the right call. They still made the inroads to get this bomb planted.
That smoke is an open invitation to Tenier. It's just all based off timing.
Wait, no.
Finds you with hands busy. And Kyosuke doesn't get that instant trade.
And doesn't get that second chance either.
Oh, here he comes again, Tenier. Just the bane of Kyosuke's existence. Team Spirit will not only dismantle Falcons, but embarrass them on the way out.
I thought it was going to be the Eagle headshot. Instead, it was Shiro. The Allen Iverson as he fades back into Donut.
3v5 with pistol.
Oh, a parting gift.
And Tenier a
one-man army. He had no help over here.
Two teammates still alive.
That smoke gave him the best gap he could ask for.
A standout performance now for Tenier in this grand finals, trying to tap back into what he showed us in the first two maps of play. Monacy's going to take over middle.
Listen, if Falcons miss utility, then we're worried. If Spirit do, we'll see if it matters.
Bachan.
12th round is looming.
გამოყენებულ მევალეებს დავსდე, რომ ფული დამიბრუნონ და ჯერ არ მცალია, დავალაგებ მაგ თემას მერე. კარგია, ვაკამბეკებცო? კაი, ყლენზე დაიკიდეთ. არა, ვაკამბეკებ. ვაკამბეკებ, მე ბარი ნერვიო. კამბეკია. ყველაფერი კარგადაა.
Tenier know that someone else has fallen back a little bit. Kyosuke's coming in slow. I mean, this looks like the perfect move for him.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Tenier considers this, but if he goes around the brick, that's his moment.
Wakambekep!
Leans back, gets a triple kill in this one, and Falcons find a little more fight left in them.
Sometimes you gotta stare down in the face to remember to live. That's what Falcons have to show us, because again, the pressure is obviously affecting them and individual performances.
Opa, დაბლოკო საბასმოკი?
Just missing
არის როლესი. No, არა უცილებია შეყალეო შენ. დეპილი, აი ხაი, რა უნდა ამათ კასტერა, თო აცილაო მოლოტოვი, ეგ არის სმოუკის დასაბლოკი მოლოტოვში, გამოყლევებული.
Round by round, Falcons build. We're still at that point of the comeback, though, where Team Spirit, no concern.
Yeah, I mean, Magic says a Zeus. He's chilling.
Of course he does. They go through their protocols and they at least get him to step back a bit. They bump into one another, so be it. Tenier's blasted out of this one. Zeus ready to go. It's only that USP kill for Team Spirit. Numbers strong by Falcons. They play that high trade potential, find themselves comfortable inside of this bomb site.
Spirit had so little.
We'll have to submit. Falcons will pick up 6th round. Kyosuke's got himself back into this big game in a big way. It was a slow start for everyone here on Ancient. But it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And every round is an opportunity.
Favorite in Gondia majors.
A 5-round gap. The full buy comes out.
It's where get with major
investment here for Spirit. They have Shiro's off. 2 kits coming in. They missed this molly twice. They gotta pay these guys more.
the Spirit smoke up at their
last time.
Oh, they're trying to block.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, they did block it last time.
There's layers. There's also limitations. SMGs for Spirit on 2.
Spirit are already really low on utility. We've got one flash left over for Donk. Exact coming your way. Zontix at the top of Donut. It's a really great angle to hold. 2K spray downs happen from this position.
He's playing in front of it. Ready for the commitment, but that flash finds him. All of a sudden, Donk decides that he's just going to take this by storm. No way! What? In the middle of it all!
He's torn through them. Everyone to support that. They had no idea he'd wrap around default.
TeSeS was pressed up against him, and Donk has decided that enough is enough. Storming through. No concern for his own well-being because he has belief in the rest of this team.
He tore through this site like a piece of paper. Everyone peeking, it felt like seamlessly, but just a second too late.
Picho, დასანერფია ეს დედა მოტყნული, რა მე უქენი ხო?
A devilish decision to push through the flames. Here we go, back to mid. Donk wants more blood. And TeSeS will give him something to think about. Now Falcons face reality. The still elusive trophy lift for this team. They tried to build up the belief thanks to Kerrigan. But we are witnessing an evolution in team spirit. A lot of bodies for Falcons to just try to take down this B site, and if they run up that ramp, by God, there is nothing meant to stop them. Spirit will opt to try and maintain control of cave. If a retake's needed, so be it. TeSeS with low HP, a little too concerned, but he's not writing off that corner from Tanir.
They're freeing up Magics to go a little bit aggro here.
Tech9's got the answer, but it is Tanir to hold back TeSeS.
This comes down to these two.
There's the push again. Because time and time again, it is disrespect. Team Spirit have fueled themselves in this grand finals run on the shortcoming of Falcons. Honesty in the middle of what remains.
The routing off a short, it's perfect.
Oh, but
and
the shot leaves a lot to be desired. Still, 34 health from Honesty, swaps back over to the op.
It's not necessary, he's only got 4 health. Now he has to hit the shot or it's over.
Sticking down to the last second.
Because
Honesty calculates it to perfection. Pushes off that bomb site and gives Falcons just a little more to believe.
Oh, wanted to believe that it was going to be a fake. The game could have ended right there. Unnerving.
Wow, იმანესროლა პირველი ტყვია არა დატო.
But Monesi secures it, a clutch.
But these Team Spirit buys keep coming.
5 რაუნდით მე ვარაფერი არ არის ჩემი გარდა.
And Spirit actually come in with no kits this time around.
Donk will once more throw himself towards early duels. Kyosuke's responsibility. Sees the shadow on that jump back. He is being left to his own devices out here middle.
Donk's thinking about it.
Falcons just try and sink their teeth into this B site. But Tanir puts that smoke down in the middle of it all. Transfers the duel into the back-to-back headshots. It's man advantage momentarily for the Falcons.
Yeah, it's a successful contact. Explode. TeSeS is low, but won't go down. Bomb gets planted safely. Again, no retake utility here for Spirit. They maybe hang out, but what are their odds of actually trying this? It's their money that's in jeopardy.
It was a bad frag grenade that bounced off the front of the column that could have been a way for TeSeS to wind up dead.
And even giving up an extra kill here. Spirit want to make this game interesting. So Donk gets a 5v4, but immediately they don't see Donk. They run up into B. They have this death bolt they've always had. Between Monesi and Nico, their power when it comes to entering into sites. Second to none.
No, stremi davala იქ არხი გამოვიწეროთ. აუ, თორმეტ
I can understand why they want to send out Kyosuke as a mercenary to get info on mid, to maybe take a duel, but they do have to be a little bit more careful about how they're using him because Spirit have been really doing a great job of countering him. Obviously, Donk is kind of doing it alone sometimes. But now every situation on the knife sets, it has to be the full comeback here for Falcons. And because they lose that third gun, it does leave this buy in a weird spot. I feel like 3 guns and a couple of pistols, and they've already shown they can win a round like that.
Falcons! Давай, ძმებო, გვინდა რა მეოთხე მაპი. მარა მაგარი ყლებას არ მგონია, ერთი რაუნდი როგორ ერთ რაუნდს მარტო დონკა გაწამოიღებს თავის თავზე. Astana.
2 rifles for Spirit. They have thrown spanners in the works when it comes to these kinds of buys. And this M4's position postured to kill Tesses. Sure enough, the first victim, a missed opportunity for Monacy. They're going to try to just flood into this site. But remember, Donk's also got a gun. There it is. Line up with a headshot. USB's melted.
They said we can get 3Ks on B as well. It's only one full gun to get through.
Აჩა რუსებმა ითამაშეს დღეს რა. იქიდანაც და აქედანაც იმენ. სხვა სარავის არ უთამაშე. ამათი არის თამაში, ამათი დედამი.
Making an argument for themselves.
Თქვენი იყოს თქვენი დედამი.
But just a more simple test. And again, we know that Spirit can win rounds like this, so
რო იძინებს counter-ზე ფიქრობს, რო იგუძებს counter-ზე ფიქრობს და სულ counter-ზე ფიქრობს.
But they have to stare tournament point in the face every single time they get into freeze time.
And Kerrigan's job is to keep them in belief that all you have to do now is rack up 3 more rounds. This is where he makes his money. Simply what he does.
They made the full
comeback.
მოძმულ
ხასიათზე არ ვარ, მეძინება უბრალოდ. გუშინდელი თამაშის მერე ის დედამოტყუნი ტურნირი ღამის 5 საათზე რჩება და 3 დღე ძილი არ მყოფილს. ეგ 3-ზე ვიძინებ, 9-ზე მეგვიძება 10-ზე.
And again, they have these T-side statistics on their side.
They just gotta make sure that Donk doesn't have another lights out round. You can see him trying to hunt them, can't you? Donk continues to sign up for these moments and missed run boost. That could have been the moment.
Oh,
it's on Dix. Well, one trade back for TSS.
Good on him to get that numbers back.
Don't come out, Tatiano. Magic's მოსატყნელი.
And Kerrigan losing out to the MP9 push off of the ramp. In-game leaders clash. And it is Spirit to come out on top.
Man დამთავრდა ექილი დანიშნულა.
Early, and now it's another man advantage for Spirit.
Nico tries to hunt one down, looks for contact versus Tenier. That low health of Magix could wind up being a liability, but the numbers are over towards this B site. Look at that radar and ask, what is TSS up to?
Are they really going to swing him? Is there a chance to generate a chance? There is.
He nails it, falls away, loses health in response for that. But all you needed was to equalize the numbers first and foremost.
They know that the CTs were worried about B, so they could try to cut off the rotation as they fight towards A.
Zontic's making a move.
Look who waits for them.
It's a bomb that's right behind him, but he just doesn't know.
He isn't spotted.
And so as he strives to get away from this, utility will trickle down from above.
Oh, he's floating.
He's going to turn. He's going to start considering a main, and as he does, no, never mind. He wants the duel towards Donut. It goes even worse. It's a quick headshot for Zontix, back at it. Denied by TSS, who has found himself 2 critical trades in this round.
They won't rush this. Back at default is clean. Nico holding strong.
No kit. But close on the proximity of the retake.
Oh, they can taste it. It's a risk, but they want to go for it.
Hunting down their 4th consecutive on this T-side. Falcons looking to just survive.
Wait,
go
Nico.
quiet. Nico's going to get blindsided out by Magix. Now it's TSS who is calling the squad. A grenade in with a health advantage closes in on the distance. 15 seconds. This is a no-kit situation.
Oh, yes.
To perfection, and Falcons find their
TSS. Here's the run to the right, doesn't fall for it, calls the bluff to Shiro.
Bravo. So მოიხოდა ყუმარი. აქამდე გეთამაშეთ ესე ხო მოიგებით.
Pillar of Team Falcons. TSS stands tall.
And finally, you see some frustration on the side of Spirit. And finally, a timeout called.
ამორი დანიელიდან ერთი ხალია თქვენ გადაწყვეტეთ რომელიც მე მოგანდოთ თქვენ გადაწყვეტილებას.
Now this moment right here, Magic swinging out in front, and he's low HP, gives Jess a chance. They didn't know exactly where he'd be playing from. It felt like Zontix did enough just by taking out the op. There is a reality that Falcons bring this all the way back. Even though it's on a knife's edge every single step of the way. If they survive this round, Spirit are gonna have bare bones. Shiro's not seeing this up again unless he saves it. Falcons are living up to the T-sides they've delivered so far in their last matches.
And will they send
Josuke out mid? Yes.
Again. It's the right counter utility for the job, but they're also met by flames out of the other end. Early note, Spirit, no kit once more. Oh, excuse me, Shiro did get back at the end.
Rifles have been swinging.
That's all they want. All they want's a battle between the oppers, but Shiro throwing utility. As that op is blinded, Zontix strikes from the red room. Kyosuke's got the trade back. It's felt like nearly no kill goes untraded. As these rounds have racked up. And all Shiro wants is that challenge to walk into him, but he sends a shot down range, and that's information for Kerrigan.
Yeah, he said reveal yourself, and he did. Wanted desperately for that shot to land, and that's all Falcons need to hear. They have made a decision.
Fast move.
Look at the conviction in the movements.
You know exactly what they want, and you know exactly who is meant to hold this. Tanir will be a part of this pack. This two-man situation inside of the caves that remains unsmoked.
Yeah, they said you can have cave. We might not even fight you there.
Whether they plant on the other side of Josuke's gonna have a challenge come his way. No way that happens.
They expose him.
Magic's throwing caution to the wind.
This is insane from Tessus. Ready to swing out. No one behind him.
Fast climb on the flank already. We got two fights unfolding at the same time.
Can he really take out Dong?
Magic's and Tanir push off the bomb site. Tessus dead. It is all on Nico, and his legs may just crumble out beneath him as he tries to chase Tanir over towards the ramp. That's all it takes. Spirit, 13-10, map 3.
They make it a 3-0. They fight. It goes all the way to the end. And Falcons, the dream has finally died. They made it all this way. They impressed so much. But number one,
10 მილიონი ბიჭო 10 მილიონი მე მამა ჩემი და მაგის სამი ძმა კაცი შევიკრიბოთ თო იგივენაირად ხო წავაგებ ეს და სამი დროს ხო წავაგებ ამ ყლებს
tournaments in a row.
10 მილიონს რაში იხდიან
Still setting and breaking records. And yet his team is also
აი რაც არ უნდა ყლესა კომანდა შევკრიბო სამი დროს ხო წავაგებ ყველა ვარიანტი
but shortcomings stacked up and team Spirit needed more. Tonight we get our first glimpse of what this could become. Because for the first time it feels like Team Spirit are more than one monster.
მე წავაგებ სამი დროს მე ვიყო ნაბუზარი ანუ პირობას ვდებ სამი დროს წავაგებ მეტი აი რა უქნა მითხარი აი მეტი რა გავაკეთე
Champions of PGL Astana crushing in Kazakhstan. Team Spirit.
Ciao, მაგალითად კაია. Bravo. GG. აი კამერის ხარისხია ჩემი კარგი ვიღაცა მიათესლა კამერას გაწმინდეთ ისა ჩემი ყლით მოდის ბიჭო ხმალი არ ამოიღოს არ დახოცეს
with a dominant performance in the grand finals. Magix, I'm going to start with you. Looking at this win, your first as an IGL, 273 days since Spirit last lifted a trophy. Back then, you were still not on the roster at that time. What did it take from this team, the support staff, the hard work, everything that went in. Explain it to us how you've shown these improvements and managed to make this happen today.
Well, it was a hard beginning of the year because some of us were worse and that was only starting.
ამას იმენა მე ვიყო ნაბოზარი ესტროგენი თუ უფრო მეტი არ ქონდეს. აი იმენა თავს დავდებ ძმაო, აი ამ კაც იმენა ჰორმონები არა.
And the game speaks.
ჩემზე ბოხი კი აქვს ამ ყველას ამას.
В начале года было довольно тяжело, особенно учитывая новые свежие замены, но с каждым следующим турниром мы становились все сильнее и сильнее и показывали.
არა, ჰიბრიდია, ორივე აქვს, ყლეცა აქვს და მუნდელი.
You were typing at the beginning of the game to your teammates. You said you wanted to make them cry. I don't think they're crying right now, but they're definitely sad and unhappy. How much did this win mean to you and feel to you? Because it sounds to me, if you write that, it's different than what you normally say.
It's great. It's a good part. I mean, a great sign in front of Major. And it's great to win this way in this arena in front of this crowd. Avga Kazakhstan!
Როგორ ამოხეთქა? Патара чуть-чуть როგორ ვლატავს.
Эта победа очень важна для нас, особенно в преддверии мажора.
ანუ სიგანეში, ანუ დონკას ხელა სიგანეში უოჭველი მაქვს, ანუ სიმაღლე რაც აქვს, დონკა სიგანეში უოჭველი. ანუ პატარა კაცია რა. ანუ პატარა კაცების უნდა გეშინოდეს სლოვ ისტორიას რო გადახედავ. მაგალითად ჩათვალსები არიან პატარა კაცები. ფილად უნდა იყო მაგათ.
You may be just a standing That's Magic's for you. Has to be done in Astana.
ფეხზე იმენა, ანუ ჩვეულებრივ მიშენებები აწია.
Obviously this team right now has been improving, showing a lot of that improvement. But what does it mean to you for your first S-tier trophy with these players, watching them develop and you being the coach of all of this?
It means a lot to me because I never have that opportunity. We have got first chance in Rio. Now we achieve a championship, and I'm so proud of guys, and I'm so happy.
Я невероятно счастлив тому, что мы смогли забрать этот трофей. Мы очень были близки в Рио. И у меня, в принципе, до этого не было возможности быть вместе с командой, которая победила, и стоять с ними вместе на арене.
Ну да.
Zontix, for you spoke to me during the group stage that you were still getting used to the challenges, how you needed to win this team, but it seems like things are working right now. Does it seem like you will understand again how to play with each other, how to dominate in these tournaments?
სამჯერ ჩამოკრა თამაშამდე, აი უოჭოლი. აბა ესეთი ყლეუ ემოცი როგორ უნდა იყოს.
Team is confident that we are able to win.
ეხა ესაა გამარჯვებული და მე ის ვარ მაყურებელი პროსტო.
It's more of a shape of a thing. It's not like it does not necessarily mean that we will play the same way in the next tournament, but we have to keep this mentality, the same individual performance and belief in teammates.
Beautiful.
Мы сейчас очень уверены в себе, но это совершенно не означает, что мы будем
выступать таким же образом. Очень важно сохранить
индивидуальный левел, конечно же, здравую менталку для того, чтобы...
Широ დაგენძრა ეხა მოემზადე, აუ შირო მე მგონი ეხა უფრო ნერვიულობს ვიდრე თამაშის დროს ხოლმე.
Shiro, you
დაენძრა შიროსიო პიზდეც ინგლისური მოდის.
At the start when we were on this stage that it is disgusting the way Team Spirit is playing. Do you feel like right now this could be the best spirit ever, or you guys are on your way to becoming the best spirit ever? Help him out, help him out.
Качай, транслейтма.
Spirit и лучшая форма.
Думаю, на данный момент мы
находимся. Именно გადაუთაგნა, ამან მთელი იმენა ვეფხის ტყაოსანი მოუყვამ. და მოტყმა ხუთი კითხვა დაუსვა და იმან კაკა ძელაო, ჩემი იმენა კაკა ძელაო, ბიჭო. ტიპმა რამდენი ეფასრა და იმან ორი სიტყვა უთხრა რუსულად იმენა. ანუ იმენა.
Говорил о том, что против вас очень противно играть. Насколько еще надо продвинуться дальше по скиллу для того, чтобы стало противно играть даже Vitality?
Ну, играть как Vitality в идеале.
Just play like Vitality, ideally.
Okay, that's a smart way of doing it. I like it. Tanir, thank you very much, my friend. Not only are you playing better than we've seen in the Spirit jersey, you look like you're having fun while this is happening more than before. Your face has changed, the way you're expressing yourself, and to me, it seems to be translating onto the server. What has changed? Because this is a new you. How have you managed to do this, and how can you keep this going? Because Spirit needs this from you, man. Your grand final was insane.
I don't know, but I want to say just thank you my team, because we did a lot of work for this few months, and I really enjoy right now when we are playing this game. Also, I want to say thank you for all our fans. Thank you for support.
Спасибо за поддержку, друзья.
ის მაგარ კაჩი ის მაგარი ყლე ტრანსლეიტორია ჩემი კარგი მოვტყან ძმაო მაგარი რუსული მეც ვიცი ძმაო ფულს რაში ვუხდით ტიპა იმე გულის ტკივილი გაგვიზიარა და სპასიბა დრუზიაო ჩემი ამის დებილი დედა მოვტყან ვინ არის თო
Семья турнира здесь на турнире. Давайте похлопаем. Также Тнир благодарит всю свою команду. Это невероятное удовольствие играть в гранд-финале. Очевидно, взять свой первый турнир в восточноевропейском регионе. Великолепно.
Чирос დაენძროსო.
Chiro's got something to say, so
აბა დაგვენძრა Чиро, русულად.
Всем спасибо, кто приехал на этот турнир, болел за нас, поддерживал. Я хочу услышать звук толпы, поэтому Алга, Казахстан. Покричите.
Давай, хороший мальчик. Русულზე 12 წელი დავდიო ძალიან მაგრად ვიცი. თქვენი დედა შევეციო და ესენი ტაშს უკრავენ. ყველაფერს ერთხელაც აბა ერთი
что-то новое в этом составе. У нас поменялся капитан.
ჩვენი სასტავიო საკითხავ უდიდეს მოგიტყოთ ყველასო. და კოუჩის მოგვეხმარებაო მერეო. ძალიან კარგი კოუჩი ყავსო სხვათა შორისო. ხოლებიცო კარგი აქო. შემდეგშიო მადლობა ყველას დედები რომ გათხოვეთო კამანდასო ყველასო ვინ სტრიმავთო ყველასო მადლობა ჩემს გოგოსო მადლობაო რომ მადლობს ხოლმეო
она приехала на этот турнир меня поддерживать я нас считаю справилась очень хорошо на этом турнире я чувствовал себя просто
ყველაფერი ვარჯიშობთ მე და ჩემი გოგო დღე და ღამეო რა 2 წუთში არ დავამთავრო ძალიან ეხმარება ყველაფერში მადლობაო ვისო მაჟორზე შეგხვდებითო მე და ჩემი შეყვარებულიო გავაძლიერებ უფრო მოვიხოდები ანუ 2 წუთში აღარ დავამთავრებო რა უფრო მოხოძე ვიქნები W გოგო რო ეხმარება ბრავო ხელები ამიწევია ძმაო სამი ხელი მაქვს აწეული ძმაო ბრავო ხედავთ ეხლა პროსტო თქვენ თორე
But the winner is
Dog. Абли трансфер, я варам. 12 წელი ტყულა ხوار დავდიოდი, ყლე ხო არ ვარ. თან ჭიერი. აბა, ეს რა სიტყვა.
Another trophy, another MVP. I know for you it's
ამას ესმის просто ვერ ბაზრობთ რა რუსულში ან ხო არიან ეგეთი ტიპები რომ ინგლისური ესმის მაგრამ ვერ ბაზრობს
the changes you are seeing in the team that has enabled you to get another MVP and get an award and what that feeling is like for you because it does seem like we are in a new way of seeing Spirit play and develop.
I think we play more as a team and we all trust each other so like in terms of myself, like I didn't change anything to be honest, and I'm just playing my game and that's it. Trusting me, so I'm just playing. I'm chilling.
You're chilling, chilling to an MVP, and just obviously, I'll let you do the translation first before I forget.
Он говорит о том, что сам он вообще не поменялся, зато поменялась очень сильно команда, потому что они...
Кайх, наистина, ситყვები ამ დედამოთხოვნო, უფრო ეხა კარგად თარგმნის. ცოტა დააკლდა მაინც. Вообще, რა ყლებობთ გან დონკას გაუკვირდა, შენ ხო არ გაქვს რა თქვი?
Начали, если что, да. Добавляю.
დონკა გამოყლებს რეებს ბაზრობს вообще, ეგ არ მithქვამს.
Say again to all the fans, everyone here, and just your hopes for Spirit in the future.
I hope you will show a good game on major, and see you next year, guys. Auga Kazakhstan!
Go with the trophy, go and enjoy the celebration with your team. And with that, your PGL Astana 2026 champions, it's Team Spirit!
And there
it is, guys. And before we even get into breaking down what we saw, I do want to say what an amazing atmosphere we had inside this stadium. Blown away. When we came to Astana last year, I thought the warmth, the generosity, the kindness of all of the fans, it was really overwhelming. You guys, everyone in the crowd, you knocked it out the park today. Absolutely one of the best atmospheres I have ever been in all of my 20 years of counter-strike. Up there with Boston for me, the miracle in Massachusetts. Spasiba!
Exceptional stuff here from the fans.